What is going on, WOLFPACK Nation? We are rolling live, baby, and we have that championship all along with us. Let's go. Got Greg already rocking out the championship shirt. Mine is on the
Saturday.
way. Hey,
I ordered 8.
8.
I ordered a lot. I ordered a lot of shirts too.
At the red and white store.
I ordered the hat and the shirt, so
I got 2.
Yeah.
I'm turning one into a summer shirt, one into a winter shirt. So we'll see.
One is my Monday shirt, one is my Tuesday shirt, one is my.
Right?
I love it. Well, anyway, we got an amazing crew in here already with us. As you can see, just if you want to follow Razor, Rusty, and Lynn's lead here by putting any questions, comments, concerns in the chat.
Concerns. We're ACC champions. We don't got no concerns.
Exactly.
I know that's true. But I'm saying that out of habit, Greg. But now you're right.
Greg,
So
we have to leave it at the door. This is not.
Greg,
that's right.
You realize you have to go to the tournament game, right?
We'll talk about that later.
Oh Lord,
Greg,
okay.
I'm thinking about it, man. I might have to go in your place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go too. I'm not bringing Carrie. Don't worry, we'll be fine.
I will be 100% honest. So I'm gonna be honest about 2 things, y'all. So this live show is definitely going to be a little bit longer than our normal live shows. We got so much to talk about, and I know, darn, that stinks. But also, too, again, I mean,
it really grinds my.
You gotta enjoy the moment. Yeah, exactly. We even though we still came off the most amazing weekend ever, we still have some things that really grind our gears, and we're also gonna be joined by special guest Scott Wood, former NC State men's basketball player, here soon as well to jump in on the conversation. So again, put questions and thoughts and comments in the chat. We will get to as many of them as we can. But with that being said, let's relive for just 1 second here, probably the greatest call in the history of NC State athletics.
Here's Jordan Snell. He's going to dribble out the clock. There's the horn, and the Pack's done it. NC State is the 2024 ACC men's basketball champion.
Let's go!
84-76 final here in Washington, D.C. The confetti starts to come down from the upper reaches of Capital One Arena. And the Pack is going to the NCAA tournament for the 2nd year in a row.
Never gets old. I've watched it 12 times.
They have earned it.
Amen.
Well,
again,
where did you get the audio? Because I honestly would love to be able to just watch the whole game and hear Gary. And obviously, I was there at the game on Saturday. And
Learfield.
On the Learfield page.
Is it on? Okay, all right. I'll have to go check that out because that was an amazing call. That was the first time I got to hear it, and it gave me chills. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, amen. Yeah, I mean, obviously epic for 2 reasons. One, I mean, obviously hearing somebody say NC State is your ACC men's basketball champions. That's epic. But then hearing the legendary Gary Hahn in his last year say that, like, I mean, just what a way to go out. You know what I mean?
His first time ever.
Our first time ever. And he's going out with absolute bang for sure. And I still laugh thinking to myself, like, the motions he probably was going through, specifically on that UVA Michael O'Connell shot, thinking like, all right, like this might be the last words I ever say on the NC State air. And now it turned into an ACC championship call, and then it's turning into an NCAA tournament call. I mean, the flow of emotions for him has got to be insane. So, but anyway, also with that being said, got a couple of mailbag questions. Yeah, I love Gary. Gary's
the girl Tracy. She made the ride up. So
she did.
Yeah.
And let us know in the chat if you're able to make the ride as well. Actually, too, before we get to mailbag, let's kind of jump on a couple of comments as well. Rusty saying, "Good evening. I want to make sure Leighton is okay after his quote unquote episode on Saturday night that we saw on video. Years of pent-up frustration just exploded." Yeah, y'all. I mean, I know I wasn't the only one for sure. And again, I didn't even have plans of even recording it, but my funny, beautiful wife decided to come downstairs where I was watching, because literally we were watching it with our family and a couple of whom are UNC fans. So literally at halftime, I was like, I need to go downstairs. I was like, maybe to change up the mojo, but also just separate from everybody. I just need to go watch it by myself.
Too much bad.
And yeah, and I'll tell you, like, just I and I've said it in the post as well that this was the moment. This was the kind of moment that I've been waiting for, of why Tuffy Talk pushes so positive, because of the moment like this where we finally get to the highest level. You know, I mean, we finally get to the crest of Mount Everest and winning this men's basketball, baseball, specifically men's basketball or football ACC championship that we could say, see, that's what we're waiting for right here. And so to have it pay off finally, but also too, just think about the improbability. Like I did not have even imagined in my wildest dreams that on Saturday night I'd be celebrating.
I did.
ACC championship.
I knew it.
Hey, by the way, Lindsay, Kens, Leighton, Macon, and Michael, congratulations on your first ever men's ACC championship.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah, Greg, those were the days, right?
Yeah.
I
know.
I think I'm the oldest out of the 5 that has lived the longest without a championship. So this feels really,
Yeah.
really good to me.
Yeah. You got Jason saying, I cried so much Saturday that my eyes started dry heaving, literally cried out every tear in my body.
I had the biggest bags under my eyes the morning after.
I talked to my boss this morning. He was like, did you get emotional? I was like, okay, so I didn't get emotional, but I felt it. And he goes, yeah, I felt it too. I mean, it was there, but it just didn't happen for me. But man.
Yeah, I got to call in and talk to you guys for a few minutes when I got back to my car, and then I was like Jimmy V looking for someone to just hug and talk to because
you want to celebrate with somebody else that matters, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, I got to call my dad finally yesterday. He's old and watched it and then went right to bed. I'm like, dude, we can't even like talk. He's like, I'm going to bed. I'm like, okay.
Amen.
So, it was awesome. Hey, shout out to Reynolds. He was there all week last week. You know, he's one of the dudes that travels everywhere. So that one was for him. I liked his tweet where he was 0 for, and correct me if I'm wrong, Reynolds, you were 0 for 4 going into last week on road games. So he's 5-4 now with an ACC championship as a fan. So congrats.
Amen. All right, y'all. With that being said, we have our awesome guest waiting for us in the studio. So we're going to bring in the legendary man himself, Scott Wood. What up, Scott?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear, man. Good to have you.
Awesome.
Scott, how's it feel to be an ACC champion, man?
Well, unfortunately, I never got to really experience an ACC championship. So
you're a fan, you get to enjoy it. So
just being able to just sit there and watch kind of through, all that they had to go through. I mean, pretty much everybody written them off. I was on the podcast for the Law of the Wolf, and my number was 90%. I think 90% of the fan base said, you know what, we're fed up, we're done. And for them to kind of stick it to, the ones that were on the outside looking in, and that's the fun part about being on a team is, there's so many ups and downs in a season, and especially nowadays with how social media is and how easy it is to see all the other things being mentioned about, okay, coach is getting fired. Oh, they're going to move on from this guy. Oh, this guy can't shoot. This guy can't make a free throw. And for them to just be able to come together when they very easily could have checked out. They could have very easily just said, you know what, I'm going to pack a bag for one day and say, screw it, enter my name in the portal and move on. They came together and said, we're going to be a band of brothers. And they did what everybody's been waiting for 37 years.
Legends.
Yep.
Right,
well, and Scott, and obviously, you knew I had to bring you on back when we had you on, like an emergency quote unquote podcast, but really just kind of preview, kind of the last part of the season. And, you had basically said, like, as quickly as it went downhill, it can easily go right back uphill in the opposite direction. And, Scott, after careful consideration, I'd like to give you the honor that, yes, I think that it went back in the opposite direction as much as it went downhill. So, are you shocked though? I mean, like, honestly, like it sounded like you really believed it. I'm sure that even going through it, you said, I'm not. Kind of give me your shock level, 1 to 10. How shocked were you that the NC State was able to pull off the state championship run, man? Oh, we lost your audio. Sorry, Scott. Oh, got muted for some reason. Scott, you muted yourself for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
We got you.
Yeah, that's got you. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Shock level, I'm shocked that after 37, it took 37 years. That's what I'm more shocked that it took 37 years for us to finally get a championship. But, the funny thing is, I've said it even since the beginning of the year. This is probably my favorite team that Kevin Keats has put together. Now, is there a question mark about, who is the closer or certain things? Yes. But from a roster standpoint, I think it was the most balanced that he's had. Now, I will also say in the ACC tournament, your good players have to be great. And I would say our 2 DJs were great. So I wouldn't say necessarily shocked, because I also don't think that there was a ACC team that I would say was unbeatable like it has been in year past. But, I think after that Duke game, I kind of told myself, I think they're going to do this.
Yeah.
I think, obviously fatigue and there's a lot of things, but after that Duke game, I was like, this has a different feel. Like this team has made things kind of personal, and they want to do this and go out the right way. So after that Duke game, I think my mindset changed. And I was like, you know what? I better pay attention, because I think they're going to pull this thing out.
After that DJ Burns 3-point, I knew it was in the bag. I knew once that went in, we were winning us a championship.
Well, and I said it, they were up 1 at halftime, but from start to finish, NC State controlled that basketball game.
Yeah.
They had they went a stretch with both DJs out. DJ Horn got his 4th foul with their 2 main scoring options. Both were on the bench, and they both came out, and I think they were up 6 or up 4. And when they went back in, they bought 4 minutes, and they were still up 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think that to me just said everything. I was like, all right, we've got people firing on all cylinders. You've got role players playing at an elite level. Mo Diarra's controlling the glass. When you can buy that type of time in that kind of game, when Carolina is supposed to go on their run, when the best players are out of the game, that's when you know things are going your way.
Yeah,
Scott.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah. Same thing. I said we got to buy at least 3 to 5 minutes, and we did, right, to your point. And then, man, I can't tell you, like, I was clock watching every 30 seconds. I feel like I put my head back up just to see how much time was left, because it felt like it was taking forever for that clock to wind down. I guess on how do you think like a team can just shut down all the outside noise and then like come together? Because honestly, I think this was the best thing, was for them to have their time to, I mean, I know they've been playing together all year, but it feels like they bonded even more over the last 5 days. The why not us slogan, like how much does that bring a team together when you kind of have like a mantra like that?
I mean, it's huge. And the unfortunate reality is I've been in a locker room, but I haven't been in this locker room. So,
sure.
It's very easy to speculate and make assumptions about a Kevin Keats or a certain player, or, why isn't this person shooting well? Because like the funny thing is Casey Morcell's the first one in the gym, last one to leave. And everybody keeps asking me, oh, what's wrong with Casey? What's wrong with Casey? I'm like, nothing's wrong with Casey. He's just not making as many shots. He also had 2 really good players that opened up, the game for him last year. So yeah, people are going to guard him a little bit different. And now instead of making wide open shots, it's probably semi-contested shots, but he's still giving you energy, effort. Heck, I think honestly, Carolina, for those who were at the game, Carolina fans tried to bring them back in the game. And all of a sudden, Casey, I think he created a steal or a turnover on RJ. They go back the other way, and we hit a 3 or an easy layup. And it's just like, okay, every chance Carolina had, we just put our foot down and said, this isn't going to happen. So, it's very easy for me to speculate because I'm not in that locker room. But again, it's just a band of brothers. You guys, like, they're constantly together. Basketball is the one sport where I feel like you're always in the gym 24/7. They all live together. So it's one of those things where it said, dude, all it takes is, getting hot at the right time. And that's what they did.
I think the mental part of it too, right? The confidence. I think as they kept winning ball games, they just kept getting more confident. And I think, that helps you make shots. That helps you, forget about fatigue. I think all of that just kind of, you could just tell. I mean, as the week went along, you could just tell that this team just got better. I mean, they got better. Like they didn't get like the same. They got better each game and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking here too. I'm thinking of like, Scott, should get your opinion. Like, what do you think? What the difference was for these two? Like to me, the X factors were 2 guys. To me, it was Muhammad Diarra and Michael O'Connell. Like, I go back and look at the stats. So Michael averages something like 5.5 points a game, and going into the I believe it was going into the tournament, and he averaged in the tournament like over 13 points per game, and then Muhammad Diarra had like 7 rebounds and 7.5 rebounds on average. And then in the tournament, it was like I think number was like 12 or 13, something very similar. What was it about a tournament that you think made a difference for them? Like, what do you think it was for them? Just the idea of desperation or urgency, or?
Yeah, I think I used it as it's pressure free. Like, they were no longer had any opportunity to make
New
the
season.
NCAA tournament. So it's like, hey guys, we have nothing to lose. Just relax, go out, play the game that you love, have fun. And I feel like that's what they did. I think me and Levi Watkins were joking about this. Is I thought they started to not change the offense, but they started to move DJ Burns, move him around more than what they have. In previous games that I watched, they didn't bring him up and run, multiple pick and rolls or handoffs. And I felt like now they started to move him a little bit so that they could kind of create a little bit more advantage off the bounce, as opposed to just giving it to him and let him back down. Now they still did that because, like Virginia didn't double team and Carolina only sent the double teams a couple times. But I felt like they kind of moved some things around. And when you have that type of freedom and you see the ball go in a couple times, like Michael O'Connell did, especially early on, it starts to give you that confidence. And we can also say it's the Spalding ball. They never play with Spalding ball. So maybe they just are attracted to that Spalding ball that for some reason the ACC uses and no one else in the ACC uses during a regular season.
So Greg, let me quickly bring up this one clip, man, because you mentioned Casey Morsell, and I think there's one play that summarizes Casey, that summarized this team, that summarized this game, man. And play with RJ right here, which no audio, man, but I mean, dude, like,
man,
this
got me fired up.
Can we put this as a masterclass, Scott Wood, of defense, man? Like, I don't think defense gets better than this, right?
Yeah, well, I think in two, he's hard to guard. He's shifty. He can put the ball on the floor. He can make a three. But he really, especially in the first half of the game where he got most of his points, was off of step backs. And you can just see here, Casey knows he's trying to get that step back. So in a roundabout way, he's trying to sit on it. And I just thought he did a phenomenal job until he, injured the groin or hip in the second half and couldn't really get back out there. But I think this is what, again, people that weren't at the game don't understand. Carolina fans, it might have been 65% Carolina fans, versus State fans. And they were trying as hard as they could to get them back in it. And every single time those fans rose up and tried to get Carolina to make a quick run, they got to stop. They got a turnover. They'd get a rebound when they needed a rebound, and they'd run out, and somebody would make a big bucket. And I think that was, the thing that, it wasn't, DJ Horn in the first half, obviously going off, but DJ Burns would have a big bucket. All of a sudden, Mo Diarra would have a big bucket. Michael O'Connell would have a big bucket. So all of them stepped up in massive ways. Usually when teams go on runs, again, they kind of put their foot down and stop when they needed it.
Yep. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah. So, we talked earlier about the whole lack of doubling down on DJ Burns. Do you think that was maybe a mistake or not a great strategy, given, like, especially in the UVA game and Carolina game where, you'd probably have to force him to pass out of it. And traditionally we take shots after a pass out from DJ Burns with the leg situation. Like, would you maybe have tested that a little bit more than the other teams did?
I would have for the purpose of I like to play percentages. So if I've got 3 or 4 guys around him that's shooting 28% from three, you know what? I'm going to live with that. But I also think that because Michael O'Connell was hot, I think because they started to get the confidence, I think coaches just got scared that if we double team, they're making shots right now. But I still would have tried to play the percentages. I think, if I'm playing against an NC State team, there's 2 guys I don't want to beat me, and it's the 2 DJs. So that's where my attention's going to be. But again, I think I'll use Ernest Ross as an example. As soon as they went to double team, Carolina double teamed off Ernest Ross. He cut baseline, got an easy look. So I think NC State just made the right adjustments to when they did double team, when they didn't double team, to be able to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Amen. So there was a question here, Scott, from Rusty.
I know exactly
here.
which one that person is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So wanted to kind of hear a player's perspective on winning 5 games in 5 days, man. I mean, like people, like I think I was listening to Joe Ovies and Joe Giglio, and they were talking about how people always hate on NC State because they describe it as AAU ball. Well, they basically just played an AAU tournament, which I know you know all too well, playing 5 games in 5 days. And that's why honestly, and they mentioned it, but you got to give a lot of props to the training, crew and all the staff involved. I mean, they really never missed a step. And because even everybody who was messaging me was saying, I'm just waiting for the legs to give out. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And they never did. They, in fact, just like Greg said, they got stronger each game, not weaker.
I mean,
talk about from a player's perspective.
During the post-game conferences, Jaden Taylor, I think, in multiple interviews said that they could play 6 more if they needed to. Like, the massages they got, the sleep, like they didn't feel fatigued. They felt that was the most together they felt all season, and I think that's a huge thing too.
I think it's probably props to the strength and conditioning.
By the way, shout out to the massage therapist. I met her.
Yeah.
I mean, Jess, Ron, and Murph. I mean, they just did a phenomenal job. And again, I think, I don't want to downplay it, but I think for a lot of people that go to the games and when they're on the prime time, you see how many media timeouts and how long they are. So there is a lot of time, especially during the breaks. But you could watch, being at the game, you'll watch Jess and Murph. They're running to get electrolytes to put them in the drinks. They're running to get nowadays they got these little gummies that give you energy. I mean, there's so many things now that they're taking.
Those down
legal.
Whether it's cupping, whether it's stem massages. There's just so many things. But I do think it's also adrenaline, man. I think when you get in those games, they went on a run early on, and then I think they kind of went on that lull where Carolina went on the run and the adrenaline kind of came back. But then the crowd kind of keeps you in it, but it's a lot to do because when you're in high school, you're used to it. Nowadays, we're not playing back-to-back games anymore. Yeah. So for them to be able to put that together and for the training staff to do a phenomenal job and, NC State I'm sure they brought in, multiple people that they normally don't have on the road just to keep them fresh as possible. Kind of speaks volumes about, it's a team effort. We think of the players on court, but there's also a lot of behind the scenes doctors, physios, massage therapists that are, doing their part as well to help out where they can.
Yeah.
I know I was watching because I was right by the bench. I mean, they were popping supplements. I mean, you could just tell every time they were just walking around giving them all kinds of whatever they were giving them. Like, heck, they could have been placebos if that was, they were working like a champ. So I don't know if it was just mental pills or what, but man, it was great.
Juice from Space Jam,
And there was one point at the end of the game where Casey Morsell was using like the Theragun, on the court, and the ref had to tell him to get it off.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Which I'm like, bro,
get back in that game.
Yeah.
Honestly, I felt the game had a little bit of everything. I mean, it had, the runs, it had lead changes, it had the tension, it had players getting hurt, key guy getting fouled out. You had the bigs back to back, which I'll tell you, by the way, I honestly didn't think Baycott wanted anything to do with Burns on the defense end of the game.
Hey, what was that last message that came across the bottom?
That's what I'm saying. Y'all should focus on your side of the bracket. Can't wait for Michigan State to whoop that ass.
Well, he's admitting we're going to win one game, so
all right,
I'll take that.
We got other people besides State fans sometimes.
I will say, the funny thing is, I've had a lot of, there's a lot of, I'm gonna give them credit. There's a lot of Carolina fans, were congratulated and we're very kind, but there's also,
and I don't even care about that.
There's also the other out there, so I appreciate the other ones, So
I had a couple. I had a Duke kid come up to me after the game and said, "Y'all did great." And then I had one Carolina. There was way more of the non-congratulatory Carolina fans than the congratulatory ones. I will definitely say that much. But you know what? I guess it is a rivalry, even though as much as they don't want to admit it. So.
Well, and I love this one earlier, Sky, where it said KJ Keats has more AC championships than RJ and Baycott combined. So, I mean,
my favorite.
That's a pretty good stat right there, right?
He also probably has more ejections too. So,
I like it, Scott. I like it. All right, Scott. So we got a couple of other mailbag questions from our Discord members here that we wanted to get your thoughts on. So, let's jump to it. All right, Scott. So for this one, don't say a word just yet. Don't say a word. All right. I want everybody in the comments.
I would pay to watch this.
To let me know if you had DJ Burns versus Scott Wood in a game of horse, who you taking?
Oh my
So
God, that's two
comment
fan favorites.
I
Burns
know
or
who
Scott
I'm
Wood.
I know
All
who
Oh
right.
I'm
my
Now
God.
for the Tuffy talk, guys. All right. I need a hands raised. Okay.
Well,
So
it depends. Are we going from 3 or are we going from?
It's horse, so you do whatever
No,
you
it's
want to
horse.
do.
I know, but who's
game, man? I know who I'm taking.
'cause I feel like
Okay.
Scott would start from as far
Here.
back of a 3 as he could get.
No, Scott is starting at half court.
Exactly.
I got a feeling Scott's already played DJ Burns in a game of horse or something like that.
I mean, we'll see, but I don't want any influence. So here, we'll be fair and we'll say DJ Burns gets the ball to start. Okay.
It's horse.
So
what
we'll
is
say
this
DJ Burns
razor
gets
guy
the ball
talking
to
about
start.
moves?
That hook shot's dangerous.
All right. So with that being said, DJ Burns gets start of the Tuffy talk, guys. Who's taking DJ Burns? Anybody?
I'm sorry, I ain't doing it.
Nope. All right. Everybody else, Scott Wood. Scott Wood.
Shooters.
All right.
Shooters.
All right.
I mean, unless like DJ can make like some crazy trick shots that we just don't know about, Scott will
was
just
like-
take them all on the perimeter and shoot them to death.
Yeah. Better question. Could Scott beat DJ in a dance off? Yeah.
No, you guys don't want to see me dance.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Now,
So,
now we're talking 1-on-1. I think DJ takes them.
That's a whole different game. I think.
yeah.
If
Just
we
back
would
down.
have to limit the
Back
limit
bounce.
the dribbles.
Yeah, no.
There you go. I like that. I like that.
okay. So Scott, first question: have you actually played DJ in a game of horse?
I have not.
All right.
I tell everybody if we play horse, if you miss, you're not gonna win. That's the key. So don't let me have the ball because
I'm about to
the
say,
funny thing is typically when I play horse, unless I'm just joking around, I only shoot mid range because most people can't make mid range. So I just sit there and make 15 footers till they eventually miss, or I just shoot free throws the whole time.
Oh,
DJ
yeah. you
can hit
definitely
free
would.
throws. DJ can hit free throws.
Well, with most of our team, you definitely would.
I think he can hit like what 79% of them, whatever his percentage is.
Yeah, he's one of our best ones.
He's
Yeah.
not shabby. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now this is another question which got asked in the comments, which I don't know if it's the same person, but also in our Discord as well. But obviously DJ Burns was a tournament MVP and rightfully so. And we said, Scott, in our post championship discussion on Saturday night that DJ Burns might go down as one of the most important players in NC State basketball history, or one of the most notable. I guess notable / important. I guess is a conversation, but somebody asked this. I don't know if it's. I kind of have a feeling on this, but is DJ Burns in the running for getting his jersey honored? In your opinion?
I mean, there's a lot of really good players that do not have their jersey on.
I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I think what he's got going for him is that, an ACC championship. And I think, winning winning championships at NC State is a big piece. But I've played with a lot of great players that, may not have their jersey up there. So I would have to say no, but I think, just his personality and how memorable he will be is he will be a state player that'll never be forgotten. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I think he's in our minds. His jersey's going to be remembered nonstop, but it's like he hasn't spent his entire career at State, so I feel like that's another big reason it wouldn't be honored.
Yeah, if he was a
Yeah.
full
Yeah, I
3-4 year guy, probably
Yeah.
he probably would be. But
Yeah, I think
100%.
he's made a big impact on like what we as fans think of as NC State basketball, and he's obviously a fan favorite, someone you love to see around campus. But again, Kent is right. He wasn't here for, 4 years or 5 years. This isn't someone we got to see like develop the whole way. And you're right. I think there's so many players who are probably deserving of it who don't have their jersey number like recognized or honored. So I think it's probably not in the cards for DJ, but I think again he will be remembered very fondly.
I guess the last jersey to be honored was TJ, right? And he was.
I'm about to say, I think honestly they're kind of stingy. There's a ton of really, really good players that.
Right.
that could be
I'm
up
just
there,
thinking of like
but-
the awards and the
Yeah,
conference.
the most recent one was TJ's.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the only closest thing to that since what I guess would be DJ because he won MVP. But maybe that is that. I guess that's the bar for NC State.
and I mean TJ All-American.
That's true too, yeah. True
It's
too,
just tough. And heck, like even if you go back to the older days, there may be a few of them that are that are up there statistically that aren't as good as what some have been. But you also got to think who's making these decisions. So, is that Boo? So I think it varies on, who is making that call. But again, just going to be one of those great players that's forever going to be remembered because of, what he did and bringing a championship back to Raleigh.
I personally don't think it's the jersey hanging in the rafters that the players want more than anything. I think they just want to be remembered by the fans. And DJ Burns has definitely proved that he's a fan favorite. I mean, the country is already saying keep him in the NCAA as long as possible.
I'd say, hey, he's probably going to be, in the NC State Athletics Hall of Fame, though.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
Mark it down, though. I guarantee you, DJ Burns will be in that montage at the one shining moment at the end of the tournament. Oh, I promise you, he's going to have a clip in that.
And he's always going to have a banner up at PNC.
There you go.
Right.
That's very true.
Amen. And Jason asked a question, which I think is pretty good. What was more impactful, TJ Warren's 2 years or DJ Burns' 2 years?
Oh, TJ's got the championship. So it's hard to go against him. But I would also tell you that
TJ Warren's a walking bucket.
TJ
Warren is a different type of.
And I also played with TJ, and TJ's one of my good friends. So it's hard to go against TJ. But I will tell you, single-handedly, TJ may have arguably, outside of David Thompson, one of the greatest seasons in NC State history.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
What did he average? You go off the top of your head, Scott. What did he average that season?
Oh, I think it was 24. I mean,
that was the number in my head.
They look
at State.
But he had 3 straight 40-point games.
Yeah, I mean, but the fact that DJ is even in that question is saying
they're also two completely different players, though. I mean, they're
y'all Tar Heels for life. Y'all were the way better team. GGs. We played like a complete S, and I'm very concerned entering tourney.
Oh, I'm glad they did that night. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I'll take my championship and run. Guess what? At the end of the day, they're never going to ask, well, how'd the other team play now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
nope.
We don't care.
Yeah.
Exactly. Amen. So also had another question saying, besides watching NC State in the tournament, what are some things for Pitt fans to do this coming weekend?
Go eat them sandwiches at the something Brothers.
Listen, I can help with this one. My mom's from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
My mom too.
Yeah, go see Russell Wilson. He just got signed.
Hey.
PNC Park is beautiful. Obviously, they're probably not going to be playing, but if you want to do some type of tour of PNC Park, the Point with the big fountain where the Yakagani, Monongahela, and Allegheny rivers merge is a nice little spot. They've got, I think it's the north side, which is really nice dining and outdoor things that you can do. I'm all for a Heinz Field. Oh shoot, it's not Heinz Field. Acrisure Stadium, I think is what it is now.
Yeah.
I'm a big Steeler fan and Pirate Penguins fan. I'm sure the Penguins are probably playing, unless they're hosting.
They're hosting. They're playing at PNG Arena, so they won't.
All right, so they're hosting there, so they won't be in town. But those would be some good.
The Heinz Museum is good too.
You gotta be able to go there and enjoy some food. But it gets a bad rap for a city, but I've always enjoyed it. There's nothing like coming through. I think it's 70, and you come through the tunnel. You come out on the bridge
through the mountain.
It's a massive city. It's one of the better views of coming into a city. So I'll probably be a game time decision on if I decide to make that trip or not.
For anyone that was a Mr. Rogers fan, they have a nice museum there at the Smithsonian there. I met the mailman from Mr. Rogers the last time we were there in 2015. So that was my exciting, other than the BJ on the baby hook.
A monorail lift that takes you up to the top. There's a nice steakhouse up there that overlooks the city.
There's a fort there too. That's pretty cool.
Good to know. Yeah.
Side note, TJ Warren 24.9 points per game that last week.
That's
Pamini Brothers. That's the name of the place, right, Scott? Pamini Brothers?
Primanti.
There it is. They got good sandwiches. I enjoyed it there. So I'm a fat guy.
French fries on the sandwich.
Yeah.
In-game said Pitt fans can watch the AC Championship and their game and compare what went wrong.
Scott, did they get a raw deal? Did Pitt get a raw deal?
I mean, It's
How
hard to
does
say, man.
Clemson get
Out of conference is what's going to kill
mean,
them. Is what killed them.
Yeah, but that's part of the net, right? And that's what
listen.
everyone loves.
I'm not qualified enough to
We'll
make
talk
those
about
calls.
that.
Plus,
Yeah.
I don't watch enough. I couldn't tell you, Pitt's strength of schedule and who they lost to. I think they beat Virginia. So I mean,
Yeah, they beat
got a
Duke.
case there. So I mean, it's just tough, man. Somebody's gonna get. I think I'm talking about expanding the NCAA, and I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter if you expand it. Somebody's still going to be upset.
Oh, totally. Well, did you love? I don't know if you saw it, Scott, but Shannon Sharp, the ESPN analyst, did his bracket predictions, and he had all 4 number 1 seeds in his final 4.
And women and
all
men.
4 number 1 seeds in his final 4.
So tell me you don't watch basketball without telling me you watch basketball.
Well,
it's probably the safe bet.
Well, but Scott, I mean, like, really,
when was the last time that actually happened? Is my question.
And so let me say that, Mick. And so basically, like, wouldn't you agree, Scott, that arguably all 4 number 8 seeds making the finals is just as likely, if not maybe even more likely, than all 4 number 1 seeds making it? Like, it just doesn't happen. All 4 number 1 seeds making it.
2008 was the last year.
Well, and I also think the landscape of, like, I would disagree if we'd go back a few years, but the landscape of college basketball and the transfer portal, I feel like just evens the odds a little bit more. So it is tougher. But I would also say UConn is the only team that I really see as being extremely dominant, but they're also very beatable. So I just think the way college basketball is nowadays, I mean, it truly is anybody's game. The same thing you saw with the ACC tournament. It's like you used to be able to mark it down on, Duke or Carolina, or there was someone at the top. But again, I just think everybody can get beat now.
Amen. Yeah. So crazy stuff. And our last mail question here, Scott, do you think this is the spark that will get Wolfpack Nation to donate to basketball and football? Which I know there's been a huge
weird.
I know WOLFPACK has been, Chris has been, saying that they've been getting a lot of donations for basketball specifically. But do you think this is the spark that will officially continue, the I guess the reinvestment in basketball? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll definitely have an uptick. I know that a lot of people have been mentioning that WOLFPACK and everybody has gotten a lot of donations here over the last 24 hours since they've won. So it's definitely gonna increase. But I also think it's just like, it's almost, I don't want to say it's comical, but it's how many people were just checked out. Like they wanted, if you get on social media, it was honestly just ugly. And my stance that I've taken, and again, it doesn't mean I have to like Kevin Keats' offense. That doesn't mean I have to like his defense. That doesn't mean I have to like Kevin Keats. But at the end of the day, what I'm going to be is I'm going to love my university, regardless of who's in charge. And I'm going to support them, and I'm going to be there. And that's, at the end of the day, that's all you can do. I get it's frustrating that, they lose a game, that you think they should win, or this happens. But you know what? I got to sit there and I got to support it, regardless if I like it or not.
Amen.
So speaking of that, and we might talk about it later. What did you think about DJ's post-game remarks with regards to that?
Well, I think it's fair. It's valid. I mean, he basically said, you know what? I'm glad the ones that came and supported us and that were here, and welcome back to everybody that's hopping back on the bandwagon. It's very fair. I've also seen a lot of fans. Honestly, it's kind of funny to watch that have came on social media and say, I am sorry for being that.
I'm admitting it. I was that person.
Yeah,
I got respect for them.
They started a apology form for Kevin Keats and started having people fill it out. But I mean, like I've said, like these guys, they see the comments on Twitter. They see everything that is posted. So if you don't like the coaches or don't agree with the coaches, you shouldn't go out there and talk smack on the guys that work their ass off.
I've always
your school, right?
I've always said, now with NIL, fans have way more power than they actually think they have. Like recruits are watching games. When they see that there's empty seats and you're not showing up, they're not going to want to come play for a team like that. The same thing for if I'm a head coach and I'm in consideration for your job, what they're going to look at is, okay, when things are going south, how are they going to treat me? Oh, this is how y'all are going to be? Why would I go to NC
Preach,
State.
Scott.
So at the end of the day, it's just you got to show up, you got to support, you got to be there for your team, you got to be like that's just how
If
it
you
is.
need
It
to
comes
buy-
and goes. There's gonna be highs and lows.
If
Just
you need
get
to buy
over
a few drinks beforehand, do that. I did that. Sit there and
Yeah.
watch it.
Whatever gets you through it.
Right? Like, be
Look,
there.
I mean, I'm probably more the exception than the norm, but I mean, I'm ride or die no matter what.
Exactly.
Greg, are you
so-
a fan?
Sometimes.
Are you?
Yeah.
I saw Scott at the West, and I just couldn't get over to him. There was a lot of people out there for that.
That's
Sunday
right. Hey,
contest.
I thought about you because I was sitting right where the players were going in the locker room.
Yeah,
And I was kind of mad they roped up. I thought about jumping over and storming the court.
bro, I
really did.
tried. I got the press row.
Listen, after 37 years, they should have at least let us storm the court.
Right?
Bro, I got to press
On a
row.
neutral
I had,
court in DC, NC State just converges.
I don't
All
understand.
all
Like,
75
why can't
state
we have a little fun?
Hey, Jay Billis would have arrested
something
you.
that was like, forget the court, storm the Capitol building. So,
It would have been okay if
That's
RJ would have
terrible.
tried to trick me when I ran out there. I would have survived. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
trying.
I know, man.
37 years, dude. Let us have a little bit of fun.
I was helping parents over because they wanted to get to their kids, and I was like, okay, if I'm gonna say I'm with them, and they stopped us, man.
I'll tell you. Listen,
Greg
that was
said, I'm
another,
gonna say I'm
that's
with-
another disappointing thing that, and it's not gonna. I'm not gonna blame Capital One Arena. The fact that you don't let parents
Yeah, that was
go out with their kids on the court
Oh, that's
after winning a championship is absolutely disappointing. I was sitting there watching the lady, and literally you had to have credentials, and I'm just sitting there like, this is family.
How did the
never
family not get
understood.
credentials?
Anyway,
No,
Yeah.
no, dude, Scott. Literally, during the COVID year with wrestling, or the year after 2021, I believe it was, we went to UVA for wrestling, and I remember Tariq Wilson, one of the wrestlers' moms, literally like went swinging at the security guards, and Tariq literally had to hold her back because they wouldn't allow her on the court to take a picture of her son holding the AC championship trophy in her senior year. It's like, bro, like it's family, dog. If the players are going, this is my mama,
I will
like
vouch for her.
what else do you need?
Well,
What else
and
do you need? Yeah.
listen, don't tell me it's not easy to just give a ticket that all you gotta do is show it. You don't need a credential. Like, how hard is it to print?
Here's
Yeah.
my ID. Look,
Well,
it's me.
I'll take
Hey,
it one.
in
I'll
there,
take
I
it one.
don't-
Go
I
ahead, sorry.
promise you, if I would have won an ACC tournament championship, my mom, she'd have knocked somebody out to get out on the court.
I would have knocked somebody out if I'd
She
have been
pushed me
there.
out of the birthing canal, so I can promise you she'd have made her way out on the court.
Amen to that.
It was so bad. We were in the fancy seats, and my wife went up. I told my wife, go get championship shirts. I'm getting a championship shirt. There's no way in hell I'm not getting a championship shirt. And they wouldn't let her back down to our seats. And I'm literally yelling at the security, going, "She's got a ticket. I'm her husband. I'm staying." They're like, "No." And then 5 minutes later, finally they let her through after I almost lost my crap on them.
Who cares?
And then 3
Yeah.
minutes later, they let everybody come down. I'm like, "What are you guys even doing here?"
I mean, those security people really don't have. That was probably the most action they've gotten this basketball season. So,
Yeah, that
Hey,
was another great
oh,
stat. Yeah,
anyway,
we won more
so
games.
NC State- Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it,
they,
Greg.
they were just trying to
Yeah. So
have
So-
some fun.
So Scott, I want to ask you one final question, and then I want you to join us in one of our most favorite new segments here before we let you go here. But so last question here: would you say that the Michael O'Connell shot is the biggest shot in NC State basketball history, and then ACC basketball history, arguably? That Michael O'Connell shot, man.
Not
National
biggest history, not
championship.
history,
Yeah, I was
total.
about to say
Hey,
the
I
air
asked
ball-
Scott Wood this.
The air ball is gonna always trump that, but
What?
I would
Yeah.
say you could probably put that in second place without a doubt. So, and then without me knowing everything in the ACC tournament, I would say from what led to it and winning a championship, it has to be one of the top ones in ACC tournament history.
But Macon, do you agree with that synopsis?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think. I mean, I've watched a lot of AC tournaments. I can't think of one individual shot that had such an impact to the rest of how the tournament played out. So, you don't hit that, you don't go in overtime, and you don't win the thing. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it was good.
Season's over.
Yeah, it's not the best,
Right.
biggest NC State history, but I would say ACC tournament history. That might be the biggest shot. I can't think of one.
It's definitely. I think it's definitely NC State's biggest ACC shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, agreed. So cool. So with that being said, Scott, so we started a new segment, which we like to call.
Really grinds my gears.
Oh, please let me go.
So with that being said, I want you first. I'll give you a minute, Scott. Think about something that really grinded your gears from this past weekend. But Ken, I'll let you go first. So with that being said, Ken,
Really grinds my gears.
Post-game conference when Hubert Davis had to run his mouth about what's the big deal about a team winning 5 games in 5 days. Sir, your team was stout and couldn't win 3 games in 3 days. Please shut up and go home. Like, you're salty. Hop on your high horse. You, Davis, and Armando.
Not only that, I would say I would take it one step further. Is just if you don't agree with that, just think about the historical piece of it, right? No double-seeded team had done what State did. Not even getting to the finals, but then yet winning it. So like there was levels to that statement, and I just think he didn't give us our.
He was downplaying his loss there. I think personally.
Yeah. And Jim Boeheim too. Not even a certain incident, just him.
Yeah.
He grinds.
Carson, we'll be doing men's basketball, women's basketball preview live stream either tomorrow or Wednesday. So make sure to stay tuned for that, and we'll talk more about that. So with that being said, who's next? Somebody else got one?
No, man. I think
Scott
Wood had his whole thing about not letting parents.
I'd say the parents on the court. The parents on the court would be mine probably. I went. Somebody showed me something. The handshake with Hubert and Kevin. Kevin kind of looked back at him because you could tell Kevin was going in for a little bit more embrace, and he kind of just threw his hand out of the way. So I mean that's a little bit, but I mean heck, I get it, competitor, and just mad that they just lost. So I understand that, but I think the big one is just for me, just the parents not being able to embrace their own child after the game.
I'm shocked and disappointed, y'all, that nobody's going to bring up Jim Boeheim, man. I mean, dude, the backtrack this guy has done.
He had
Did you hear what he said yesterday?
On there, and he didn't say a word about his comments. I wanted DJ Byrne, and that's the kind of guys they are. I wanted them to have some little jab, but they didn't, and that's just the character they got. But
and again, I mean, like the fact that now all of a sudden, he can make the elite, like State can make the elite 8.
It's like stick to one side. Oh, and Tar Heels for life. Google it. You'll see it everywhere. Said it.
Yeah.
You try that.
And Carson, the ACC champs run through Baycott, right? So, flip profits. Yeah, $60 parking grinding my gears. I had to drive around to find cheaper parking.
You gotta do like Greg. You gotta ride the tram in, right?
Ride the train in. That's what I did. $5. Actually, it didn't even cost me to park on the weekend, so it cost me $8 round trip to take the train in. So
yeah,
there you go.
It was worth it.
Yeah, it kind of grinds my gears that the game was in DC because it's like, why can't we?
Man, that was awesome. I finally.
I think it was all for you because you travel everywhere.
That was like the best thing ever because like I did 8,000 miles for football last year. I probably got another 2 or 3 for women's and men's basketball, wrestling. I'm gonna have another probably 1,000 or 2 for baseball. Bro, give me a game in my backyard any day. It was awesome.
but
sleep
dude,
in my own bed. Sleep in my own bed.
Imagine though, man, if that game was in Greensboro, man. Imagine, man.
Yeah, Jim Boeheim would have loved that.
Room. Yeah, Jim Boeheim would have loved it.
Imagine if the team wouldn't have gotten back at 3 a.m. Like they would have made it to the bell tower when everybody was out there.
That's what I was thinking.
Insane.
Yeah. I heard DJ Burns sign autographs until after 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, there were still a ton of people at the facility. So
yeah.
What are you gonna say, Scott? You want to say something?
I was going to say one, and I was thinking about this, and it's hard to put into perspective because it's hosting a ACC championship game. But, I pictured Capital One, a hockey arena, very similar to PNC, but there was just a different atmosphere and aura about that arena, and it just kind of made me, why isn't PNC like that? Even, the connectivity with the video boards that were around the top and outside. Now PNC is about to go through renovations, but I hope that it kind of gives me that same feel. I also feel like the lighting in that gym was like, I don't know if they have 2 sets of lighting, was more geared towards a basketball arena, as opposed to hockey. So I hope maybe the new renovations that, maybe if they go look at Capital One Arena and how it just had a very good feel to it. Once I got in the gym, I was like, this feels like a basketball arena, even though they have, hockey
yeah,
team.
so Scott, they did go through a renovation probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And so a lot of that stuff that you're seeing, maybe even 5 years ago, a lot of those new scoreboards, the center one was new, and then the corners were new as well. They had some in there before, but they're much brighter and better now. Now, I will say they're getting ready to potentially move from that arena. Both the Capitals and the Wizards are trying to move to Virginia. So we'll see what happens with the arena. But yeah, it's a good atmosphere, I think.
And I might be mistaken, but I think PNC is going to be renovated soon as well. I know the Canes went through a deal with the NHL about like renovating some stuff and getting another Stadium Series game and things like that. And I think some renovations to PNC were part of the deal, but I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be or what the renovations were. But I see what you mean. Like sometimes in PNC, it feels like you're playing basketball in a hockey arena. Like it feels very Canes focused, especially with the eye being there and all that. So it'd be nice if when they do renovate, they kind of shift it. So you feel like you feel more like you're at a home Wolfpack basketball game.
But in fairness, that was pretty much designed for the Canes, and the state just kind of uses it. Like that's why you're going to see the more centric Canes stuff there. Because they literally pay no rent.
I think for me, I don't have anything else. To me, it's the fans, the state fans, who are still complaining about Keats on social media. Like, now he got an extension for 2 years. It's like, oh man, I know this. I can think of one guy in particular. Like, with him.
I haven't seen him at all.
That's your focus right now. Like, you can't even enjoy something. Like, you got to complain about it. I mean,
my man disappeared on Twitter.
People can find things to complain about, man. But that's mine. And then the other thing is the Carolina fans who are like, "Oh, we didn't really care about the ACC championship. Like we're
going for a national championship."
Yeah, we weren't even thinking about really bothering about that.
If y'all can't win the ACC championship, you're not going to win the national championship.
If you guys have won it, you would have rubbed it in every state's fans like, "Oh yeah, little brother," and all that. So.
Well, I'll take it one further because I got that when I was leaving the arena anyway. Like fans were saying that. I'm like, well, why were you even here if you didn't care about it? Like, you kind of like defeated your own purpose. Like you contradicted yourself. Yeah.
Oh, you got your little one there, Scott. What do they think?
This is little Trey.
What up,
Scott
Trey?
the third.
Scott third.
You say hi. Don't show him a Wolfpack. Throw him up a Wolfpack.
Hey, by the way, I think I told you before, but I love your daughter's name. That's
right.
I love. Trust me, if she knew he was down here, she'd be here in a second. Dude. She's all about it.
I love it.
Hey, what is his name? I'm just curious.
I will say my one shout out is I tweeted about it, but Levi Watkins, being a former player, being on staff, I was happy for him to be able to bring something like that back to Raleigh. And then I get a brag about him because he'll be humble and never do it. But the next day, his son, Sonny, really good player, plays on our 6th grade team within our organization, had a AAU basketball game in Richmond, Virginia at 11 a.m. And he's up at the game, helping coach, helping mentor, 12-year-olds. So that just says a lot about him and his character and how he is as a parent to be able to, he's never too big to be there for his own kids. And his whole family was there. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And got Title for Life, our 4 national team titles. Didn't win AC tourney. Hell, they didn't even make AC title. It's good. That's a good little stat right there.
That is true. The last time I saw this stat going around when people were yapping about it on Twitter, the last time they won ACC title and NCAA was with Jordan back in the 80s, which was funny to see a lot of the top seeds fall in their conference championship. It was interesting.
I think
Houston got crushed by Iowa State.
I think UConn was the only top seed to win.
I think you're right.
When their tournament
Houston got blown out. Like
25
points. You ever looked into it at all?
What'd you say?
I don't know, Scott. If Scott's looked into the Texas Tech matchup at all, what do you think about it?
I truly have not. I can't say that I've seen Texas Tech play this year. Outside, we played them in football and gave them a lashing. Right? Was that this year?
Yeah.
No,
I honestly
2 years
have
ago.
not. I have not seen the
Years
matchup.
ago?
I have no idea about it. So it'll be interesting to over the next couple of days. I've honestly just been foot to the gas since Saturdays because we had AAU yesterday and today I had some stuff going on, so I haven't even been able to look at it much past that.
Did you go from then you just stayed in DC and then went to Richmond, or did you go back home and then Richmond?
Yeah, we actually played at 2 and 4 in Richmond on Saturday. So I had those 2 games, and then after we finished, me, Sonny, drove up to DC and then ended up going to the game, and we stayed the night in DC and then drove to the game back to Richmond in the morning.
Wow.
That's cool. Sick. I love it. All right, Scott. So we'll let you go, but I want to give you opportunity. Any final comments here, man, before we let you go to all of our viewers and listeners, man?
I mean, it's just congratulations. A lot of our fan base has been itching for something like this for a long time. I wish I could have brought it. There's a lot of others that it's not easy to do. 37 years, it is not easy to do. There's been a lot of great teams that have come through NC State and have not been able to accomplish what this team has, and especially for a team that everybody kind of written off. So I'm happy for the fan base. I'm happy for athletics. I'm happy for this team and Kevin Keats, and hope that they can keep this momentum rolling and we can, advance into the NCAA tournament and try to make this season even more special.
And in-game asking a question, Scott, do you still have your all red jersey?
In-game trying to slide in there.
Game?
Yeah, it's upstairs. It's actually
why don't we ever do that anymore? That was the coolest jersey.
My Jimmy V, that, and I think the all black jersey we had that we blew the game at Duke.
The ice one, right? It was called Black Ice, I think is what it was called.
I don't know what it was, but I know that we were up 20 at halftime, and Coach K stomped his foot a couple times, and the officiating changed really quick. So those are the 3 jerseys.
No, really? Not the
upstairs in my closet. Yeah, Richard Fowl picked up 4 fouls pretty quickly. And
you call him Richard Fowl?
4 fouls pretty quickly, and then we were left down to Jordan Vandenberg.
Yeah, Jordan's the man, but no Richard Howe.
No, I love Jordan to death, but I'm sure he picked up 4 fouls pretty quickly too. I feel like I ended up playing the 4 in that game because we got into so much foul trouble.
I love it. Well, Scott, we appreciate you, man. We're excited that we could have you back on, man, to see that comment from a few weeks ago coming full circle, man. So we appreciate it and enjoy it, man. We'll be in touch, and hopefully we can hey, just enjoy whatever gravy that we see starting on Thursday night. So I look forward to it.
Well, I appreciate it. You guys have a great night.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate Scott. Be good, man. All right, Wolfpack Nation. So with that being said, let's jump on over some tweets of the week as we keep this thing going, y'all. Here we go. All right, y'all. Got to start off right here, man. The most beautiful graphic of all time, man. Like, it is gorgeous. Like, just sit here and just look at this gorgeous thing, man. NC State ACC men's tournament champions, man.
Yeah.
It is the most beautiful thing, man. And
it is a really good graphic, though. Like,
DJ's face is awesome in this one. Look at his face.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like going Super Saiyan over there. He looks crazy.
Middlebrooks, that's an early season picture of Middlebrooks with that short hair.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That Dennis Parker picture was definitely from the tournament.
He was there. He was there.
I know, but he wasn't in uniform.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't realize it until like almost in the game. I was like, oh man, that's Dennis Parker sitting like 5 seats away from me. Like I didn't even I was so focused on like what was happening on the court. I didn't even, like until like probably the last 2 minutes, I kind of just started looking around a little bit, soaking it in. It was like, man, I'm here for this ultimate moment.
Yeah. And next tweet of the week here, just kind of recapping really the 5 games, man. So once again, win over Louisville, 94-85, win over Syracuse, 83-65, so winning by 18. Duke winning by 5, Virginia winning by 8 in overtime, and then UNC winning by 8. So I wanted to kind of ask this question. Let us know in the comments. What do you think was not besides kind of looking at like, when it happened per se? Like, I know obviously this question might be easily UNC, but what was the most impressive win? Just looking at just the game itself, not necessarily that it's a championship or semifinals or first game of the season, whatever. What was the most impressive win here? Let us know in the comments what you think of the 5. And what do you guys think? Who wants to jump in? Lindsay? Lindsay?
Yeah.
What do you think first?
I would probably say Virginia, just for the fact that, like we were talking about, coming into this tournament, it's not like we really had anything to lose. So even to make it to that game was a big deal. And to not give up and to allow it to go to overtime. We talked about that shot will go down in ACC tournament history and NC State history. But to just kind of get that win in a game that was closer than some of these other ones, and to take it to overtime and fight hard through overtime, I think showed a lot of endurance and kind of, obviously, like the win over Duke was huge. It was Duke, but I think this really showed that this was the team that could win that ACC title, that they weren't burning out after all these games, but that they were really coming together and like showing increased momentum with each game.
Macon, I'll let you go in the cans. I'll let you go after that. Go ahead, Macon.
I mean, to me, the Virginia game is definitely something like that. But I mean, I think it just has to be UNC, because how many times have we played them and they just like they're the ones who kill the hope we have and like kill the run or whatever. Like last time we played an AC title, they stomped us out. So it was
2007.
Right. I mean, I just think about it has to be that game. I mean, like it has to be that game. It's because it's North Carolina. They're the 1 seed. They're a top 14 nationally. They had, they have history on their side of how they've just beaten us, and it's like, I don't know. I thought UVA. To me, we played UVA. The thing that I would say against that, to what Lindsay was saying, was I think State generally under Keats has matched up well against UVA. I know there are times we talked about it, but I think to her point, she's totally right. Like, you didn't give up in that game. You kept fighting through it. That bucket to get in, they go into overtime. That was huge. But and then to me, it was like once you play Virginia, it's like, but holy cow, we got to go play UNC now. And it's like, I felt like I've seen this story before. To me, I also felt like, man, we've got this. We feel like a team of destiny right now, and I kind of felt really good about it. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, right? So, and both Duke and North Carolina didn't beat us the 3rd time, right? So, but I thought, I just feel like it's got to be UNC for all of the history behind it. That was what it was to me.
Well, just a quick reference check. We only played Duke once, but still, I mean, they won pretty handily. But
they won
Kens,
by 15.
Kens, what you got?
I got to say the Duke game, if I'm being completely honest. The fact that near the end of that game, that technical that was called on Middlebrooks, usually teams in the past, they're crumbling. Like, our teams in the past are like, you know what? They're not going to make their free throws. It's just going to go downhill, or their confidence is going to take a beating. But the fact that they could overcome that, and Filipowski fouled out, but like you could tell that Ben was especially saw the mistake he made and made sure to look at the team and be like, look, like, that's on me. We're still going to win this game. Like, we're not going to get I didn't see any of their heads go down when that happened. So the fact that they could still turn around and win that game and then go into Virginia the way that they did, I feel like that was a huge game for us.
I mean, I think you could easily make the case for the last 4: Syracuse, Duke, Virginia, UNC, because Syracuse, you can make the case because we beat them by 18. If we beat Syracuse by 2, like, okay, it's not really in the conversation. But the fact that you got beat by them twice and you dominated them by 18, like, that's crazy. And then obviously Duke, you were an 11.5-point underdog and you beat them. Then you beat Virginia in, an amazing way. And then you dominated UNC from beginning to end. Like, that's kind of the crazy thing, is that we're talking like this is a team that we were like just scratching our head being like, what is this team doing? And then they pull off 4 of the most amazing wins that we've seen in a long time. So, but Michael, Greg, any final thoughts about that question?
I mean that obviously the title game is the obvious one, but yeah, if you take that out, I would say the Duke game as well. The no team had gotten from Tuesday to Friday at that point, so after you win that one, it's like okay, it's like you can start to believe now you've done something nobody's done before at this point, and yeah, take it from there.
Yeah, I was going to Duke as well. Couple of things stand out. One, starting with Syracuse, the rest of the week we were playing away games. They had a ton more fans than we did. The way that we hung in there with Duke, especially with Filipowski, and then to Michael's point, that was when like we as least in fans inside the arena were like, okay, we can do this. Like we're only halfway home, but you can feel it. Like you could start to like get that confidence because they beat us by 15 on our home court. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was when the "Why not us" kind of mantra became a thing, because we went out and beat Duke. But yeah, it has to be Duke for me. But let's not lose sight. Like in that Louisville game, we were down 11 early. Like
without our leading scorer.
Yeah. So
Tracy had a good comment there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Sorry, I didn't even see that. Yep. She's absolutely
I think Jason Santiago's cause is like the bow on it. The answer is yes. Right.
Yes. They're all.
I can even think for the Syracuse game. I was at church on Wednesday night. Honestly, I kind of forgotten they had played that night. I just lost train of thought. I was like, I was leaving. I was like, oh, it's 8:30.
You even a fan?
Yeah, I'm a fan. But Greg, the question is, are you? I do even go to games, Greg. But yeah, I looked at the score. It was 68-50, and I was like, holy cow! Like, I mean, I think that on top of not, game one, Louisville, you won without your lead scorer. In game two, you crushed Syracuse. You go and you go to Duke, and you win narrowly, but you win. I mean, there's a whole lot of dynamics there with all those games that I think led to the next day. It's like, okay, we did this without DJ. We can go into next, and we get him back. We're crushing Syracuse. Like we went up against the 9 seed, the 7 seed, wherever they were. We did that. Let's go Syracuse, Dude, let's get a revenge game on them. Like, I mean, we just did this. Just what else we have to lose? Why not us? And then go do that. And then it's like, okay, it's UV. I mean, I don't know. I think the answer is yes. I think
all of them.
Listening to some of the guys talking on their Instagram stories and stuff, just knowing that Kevin literally told them to pack for the entire week. Yeah, like they said that they had grabbed a couple their suitcase and put a couple clothes in there, and Kevin texted them on and said, make sure you pack for the whole week.
It's a very Jimmy V thing to say, because I think he's talking to guys like, we're going to cut down the nets and we're going to do that, practice it. Yeah.
I think that got them into it, and knowing that they weren't going to have DJ game one, and their coach is still saying, don't just pack for one night. Like, make sure you bring enough clothes to make it to Saturday. Like, this isn't going to be we're playing and then going home type thing. So I think that's just a huge thing, because everybody knew if DJ Horn wasn't hot during the regular season, it most likely was not going to be a win. And so the fact that Kevin knew that he wasn't going to play and then said, you know what, screw it. Still, we're going to pack and we're going to cut down these nets no matter what. I feel like that was a huge boost for this team.
Yeah, I think it was really refreshing for the team to hear that from Keats and to know that he hadn't given up on them. Like, there was so much, noise about Keats and about whether or not he was going to get fired and all of that. And he could have easily been like, you know what, like, this doesn't matter. I might get fired. I'm just going to go, and what happens, happens. But for them to know that he hadn't given up on them and that he really thought that making it all the way through the week was possible, I think did a lot for the momentum of this team.
And I don't think we really understand that. I think that was also a huge reason why we won 5 games in 5 days. Hearing the DJs at the end of that game talk about how Kevin they've had to call him, when they've seen stuff on Twitter to help them, or he helps them get out of their heads and stuff. So I think that they didn't just come play for an ACC championship. They came to play for that extension for Kevin. Like, they weren't going to they were going to play together, not care what they went through. It was coach has been there for us this whole season. We're going to be there for him. and I love that.
Yeah. So I kind of mentioned in our Discord that I had a.
And Greg, you'll make the last
Yeah,
comment. Then we want to move along here. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say real quick that having talked with Boo Corrigan on Tuesday at a Wolfpack Club social, he was just kind of talking, sports in general with different teams, football, women's basketball. And, he had multiple things to say about each program. But then when he got to men's basketball, he goes, it's been a tough season. And that was his exact words. And he kind of just left it at that. So it's amazing how from a Tuesday to a Saturday, his tone and his enthusiasm, excitement, whatever the word you want to use, it completely did a 180.
There was a tweet out of that just real quick. There's a tweet that showed him crying. Right?
Yeah.
He was on the court, emotional, like literally tears in his eyes. So
yeah,
I can't imagine what was going.
He gets a bad rap, man.
Yeah. Somebody said he's crying because he doesn't have to make a decision.
I was just about to say that. That's what someone put. They said he wasn't accused of crying because he realized he didn't have to make a decision.
He doesn't have to
He's
make
like,
a decision
thank
anymore.
goodness, it's not on me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, God Almighty made that decision, right? So Razor said Gritty Virginia will win. In games is UNC hands down. Michelle UNC, Derek Syracuse.
But once we got to the championship game, it was over. Like it was a lock. Once we hit that, I looked at
100%.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, I was sitting with the families, and everyone was locked in. The families were locked in. But I talked to DJ Horn's dad at halftime. I think we were up at halftime against Virginia, if my memory serves correctly.
Yeah.
Or tied.
No, we were down one. We were down one.
He
We
shot
were
up.
down one in that game too at halftime.
Yeah.
No,
we were down
29.
one.
Virginia
tied
was tied.
29-29.
O'Connell hit the layup.
O'Connell hit the layup. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right.
No.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I looked at him at that point. I said, "We're a team of destiny. We're going to win this thing." And he goes, "You know what?" And we went through the whole 5 days fight. All the the stuff behind it. And when O'Connell hit the three off the glass at the buzzer, I said, "What did I tell you? This team is a destiny. It's over. It's a wrap." Go ahead and put. I told him right then and there. I said, "Go ahead and put State's name on the trophy right now. No one's losing to this team." So anyway,
and when they came out, they showed the pregame UNC walking down the hallway with the boombox dance. I was like, "Come on, they aren't that good to be that cocky walking into this championship."
Good point.
Yeah.
Armando's 32.
Yeah.
Get him off the court.
But Derek saying CUSA gave them the belief because they owned both games, and then we came back and dominated.
Yeah, but we
31.
did play them tough at home. I think we lost by like 4 or 5 in that game. Like
it was a comeback on that one.
But they gave up 55. They gave up 8 3-pointers in one half to a guy, man.
They shot. What's that dude's name? Mintz or whatever.
Yeah.
They shut him down. The Syracuse guy. They shut him down.
Oh, another grind my gears. Copeland. Can't stand that guy.
Oh yeah.
He just entered the transfer portal.
Stay away, Kevin.
Yeah, we're dope. Psych.
Oh,
We just beat them. We're not going to go do this.
Yeah.
Glenn we only take players that we lose 2-3 times in Middlebrook. So
I don't think so.
That's right.
Imagine being Jack Clark right now, dude.
LJ Thomas.
LJ
LJ Thomas
and misses that. Well, he still got a ring, didn't he? Is he getting one?
No, he's been. I thought he's been away from the team since January. I don't think he is.
Oh,
no.
If played.
I mean, well,
I don't know.
They should.
Let's not worry about that. Ain't not a problem.
But yeah, let's not worry necessarily.
We definitely won that trade with Clemson.
Oh, for sure.
EB Duwana.
Middlebrooks was huge. For this.
So like State, recruiting wise, State can go in this off season now. I don't just.
We don't have to. We're not scared anymore.
There was a tweet, and I think you're getting tweets the week late. But there's one that's like, it's going to be so interesting to see how the program is viewed moving forward now. Like you can go and get, if you want to you can go get a center. You can be like, you want to come be the next DJ Burns, even if it's a backup. You can show Ben Middlebrooks AC tournament. Like just go show that.
Just show him your ring.
Right. Yeah.
You
want a guard? Hey, we got DJ Horn who came in. He averaged something like around 18, 19 points per game, 20 points per game, or whatever. He scored 29 in the championship game. I mean,
in foul trouble.
Right. I mean, there's gonna be so many good things that they can do in the recruiting trail. And it's perception, right? You got Paul McNeil coming in, right? As a recruit. Like, so you can still go and be like, why not us? Why not State? Like, we've have the
Mhm.
pedigree too. Like it's just we just won. I mean, NC State has more AC championships since in this decade than UNC or Duke do. I think, or at least UNC does.
Look, I
Same
don't want to.
numbers, dude.
Yeah, and I don't want to. When I make this comment, I'm not in near any way saying that this is a direct comparison, but the similarity is there. We almost gave up on Coach Keats this year, right? Year 7. It took Krzyzewski like 6-7 years to get his thing
Mhm.
rolling, right? Now, I'm not saying that
It's a little different, yeah.
Kevin Keats is
Two
going to go
different
went out for
Coach K's.
You're not specifically
Correct.
saying that's what happened. You're just saying give a coach time.
right, and that's exactly where I was going. So, not saying we're going to go win national championships at this point, but I wouldn't be mad at it.
You wouldn't be mad, Greg? I don't think personally I'd be mad winning everything. too.
No. And again, I'm not saying that he's the next Coach
I get what
Krzyzewski,
you're saying.
but look, this could be that turning point in this program that
Yeah,
we've been
we
waiting
need-
for.
Mhm.
Yep. Well, because again, like I think that Keats should honestly hold on to that mantra of why not us? Because we've said like Coach Gottfried on the way out said like there's no program that gets compared as much to UNC and Duke. It's like, well, no, duh. Thank you very much. You live in the triangle. Like shocker, you compare to UNC
Yeah.
and Duke. But once again, it's like why not us? Why does it have to be UNC and Duke is up here and we're down here? Like why do we have to be the redhead stepchild? I get it that we don't have as much money in the program as those two programs do, and we will never have as much money as they do. But why can't we be competitive? Why
But
not?
in
us?
fairness,
You
though,
know?
they put all their resources into basketball.
I was
Where
about to say,
Well, that's
we
what I
focus
said.
on other sports.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and that's why I said. That's why I said
Yeah.
we'll never be them. But why can't we be competitive?
But you can be. That's the whole
that's
thing.
what
We the one thing we scream about.
Yeah, it's
is
basketball.
Exactly.
It's basketball. It's the easiest
not us?
sport,
Why not
other than
us?
an individual sport like tennis or golf, where
That's
you,
right.
Yeah.
you control your own destiny.
And I think another huge thing to get people coming in is the fact that they said going into the tournament, Kevin Keats NC State was the only team in NCAA that didn't have a set starting lineup. So the fact that all of these guys got to go out there, like Breon Pass was great in the tournament.
Yeah.
Ernest Ross made some great plays. So it's like
We played
there's
the
not
role
going to
well.
be there's not going to be 5 set guys you're just going to sit behind constantly. Like you're going to get to
Mhm.
play. You're
I'm
going to
not
get
gonna lie. When he brought Ernest Ross in, I was like, "What are we doing?" But I realized it's foul trouble. It's a
Yeah.
role thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
They scored.
Ernest held his own.
He
Yeah.
I'm
scored.
not saying Ernest is bad, but I was like, he hasn't played like the whole
right,
season. Why
right.
are we bringing him
In
now?
that situation, it's a big moment, right? ACC
Right.
championship
Why are we
game.
doing this now? It's because
Yeah.
it's foul trouble.
But
Yeah.
but when I was talking to some of the family at the game, I said, look, you need a little magic sauce in this, right? You need a DJ Burns 3-pointer. You need an Ernest Ross bucket. You need a little something. I'm not saying that it was luck, but we pulled all the right strings in this tournament. Like anytime that we needed to make a move, I thought Kevin Keats made the right move. He would pull. He did really nice substitutions with Middlebrooks and Burns for
Yeah.
defense. Like I thought he managed DJ's minutes very well, especially in the UVA game. Where DJ Burns can be available for the last 4 minutes in that crucial stretch. I thought again, Kevin Keats did everything the right way, and as much as people want to be critical, you have to praise him. And he had a great week of coaching. So
He did. He really did.
And-
I mean, I think his most critical thing coaching wise was handling Horn, his minutes in the
Mhm.
championship game. But like, I really thought it was I think Casey Morcell had a quote right after the game. He said it was a program win because everybody had to make a point in contribution to get that win there. It was stuff with like the nutrition and the health guys who had to get him healthy there. All of those kinds of things. DR wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Right? They had to get him.
Impressive.
Stay
Yar was literally starving.
right. So
They showed him shoving
mean,
bananas in his mouth during
managing minutes for
timeout.
DJ Burns. They put DJ Burns. I'm trying to think which game was it. Was it It was they were which game it was it the Duke or the Virginia game where I think they put Burns on minor and they put Diarra on or no it was on Duke because they put I think DJ on Mark Mitchell and they put
Mark Mitchell. Yeah.
they put Diarra on Filipowski. Like that's a coaching decision. And then when in the championship game there when they brought I think it's that one when they brought DJ Horn back in on foul trouble. They
had him playing off
put him on
Davis.
a shooter, not a driver. Like
Correct.
big coaching moves. Him
Yeah.
coming in with 10.5 minutes left. Coaches don't have to do that. That was a gutsy call. That's a coaching move. Motivating his players. That's a coaching thing. So
yeah. Well, and I think the one thing that we I don't really want to throw shade, but I guess I will anyway. We highlighted it on Twitter the other day with the whole Coach Keats press conference after I think it was the Syracuse game, or no, it was Duke when he did the 3. And basically when he talks back about Boeheim, was that after Duke?
Yeah.
I feel like it was after Duke.
Yeah.
The whole week ran together, but that we saw Salty Kevin for the first time.
And fans love Salty Dave, so I'm glad Salty Kevin finally came out for a little bit. Well, we've kind of seen Salty Kevin with some of the blockings, but other than that, we haven't physically seen Salty Kevin.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a different version of Salty Kevin.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Speaking of Salty, now this is a fun, lighthearted question. Do we think Dave's a little salty that Keats got a conference championship before him?
Ooh, I like that question.
I mean, Dave's getting one this year anyway, so it doesn't.
So I think it goes back to the comment where there's somebody on Twitter, and I saw the Joes, Joe Gillian, Joe Ovius pointed out on their show. They're like, somebody in a comment, was Steve Smith right? Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Oh no.
So I guess this is the way I think I'll look at it. Now, granted, we did have to win 5 and 5, but technically, if you have a good season, you only have to win 3 and 3 to win an ACC championship in basketball. Yeah. Whereas, football is a lot more demanding to get to an ACC championship game.
Right.
So,
don't worry, they'll win
it that way.
That's what I'm saying. We're winning it this year anyway.
Hell yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
I said it first, Mackenzie, so there.
You did it, actually.
But I mean, look, we were a 7-minute stretch away from winning both the ACC men's and women's basketball championships.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like who would have thought about that at the beginning of the season?
We still might do it this year. You just don't know, right? Time will tell, right?
Yeah. So
2024 could be a nice year, right? It could be a very nice year. I will say 24 has not been a bad number for NC State basketball. I'm just going to say that. So.
That's Gugliotta. Yeah. That was
Julius Hodge.
Warren.
Yeah. I think what was 25. So
yeah. So last comment, which I'll make, and then we'll finally move on. But everybody's talking about the Michael O'Connell shot. The NCSU stuff would be that I mean, it's a clear picture as day. Shout out to my man Spencer with Pack Pride. Literally, that Virginia guy had his hand around Michael O'Connell's shooting hand, like it was a foul. It was clear as day foul.
That should have been a free throw, 100%.
Just saying. So, and that should have been game. But anyway,
we were real quick. We were a rim out at UVA from winning that game. At the buzzer.
Morcell had he had that half court shot. And speaking good. Morcell's 3 free throws before that were just as huge as the shot. Yeah.
Nobody's giving if you would have missed one of those free throws, game's over. Season's over.
Casey's shot that is sweet is that he comes on the side of the he kind of has that pump up and that sprint, that 180 hits it, the fadeaway. That's Casey's shot. Like when he gets to his spot and he does it, I was telling I was like bucket and he gets it and he's like you can tell he practices that shot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
I had the best ride home. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I can talk all night about this damn thing. I had the best week of my life, man. Like,
well, here, Greg. I'll let you do this. This was a big conversation. Bigger question: is NC State stuff?
I hope so.
It's got to be right.
Yeah, I mean, Joe G said it. He said it. The curse is done. Look, we had to get the monkey off our back. It's kind of like
it had to be basketball.
Yeah, I think it had to be basketball. 100%.
I just go back to guys. It this just feels different than football. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like it said it earlier. It matters more because we're in the state we live in. To me, I don't know. I just think it does.
Well, I mean, for me, it'll literally just come down to anybody who says, "Oh, that was NC State stuff." I would say, literally the amount of things that had to go our way to win this championship, like trumps any little thing that doesn't go our way for at least the next few years. Like, I mean, like like that basketball could have easily hit a million different ways off of that glass and gone and hit that hoop, and we would not be sitting here right now talking about this. So, I mean, that alone about what had to go that way, but just, you know, man, like it's yeah, no, I think no, you State fans don't have a right to bring it up for at least next few years unless things really go south.
I just
Yeah,
wish
like there's got to be another, you know, heart wrenching moment to bring it back at this point.
Agreed.
I
Absolutely.
just wish I had put about like $50, $100 on us to win with those. Like
The one time that I don't bet money is the time I could be making bank right now.
yeah.
State's undefeated since they
That's
legalized gambling in North Carolina.
I think it was last
Just
Tuesday,
saying.
right?
Yeah, State fans made a lot of money this year so far.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man, it was a great week.
You're good. But with that being said, though, I got to bring this back because I think it was Kerry Blackwater who said that Keats is a winner, man. We got to play this again, man.
One thing, and I want you guys to understand this as your new coach. Kevin Keats is a winner.
And that's more because, like, you know, we used that GIF, you know, over the last few years. People were saying, "Oh, you can't play that." Well, so now we're going to play it enough that because it's deserving of so. But yeah, Preacher Man's bringing it up. DJ Burns making it 3. I mean, that's NC State stuff going our way, man. Like
I
when he made
didn't
that 3.
realize that they said that was his first career 3. I swear I saw him hit a 3 last year.
So
I know
again,
this year he hadn't, but
so full disclosure, I sat by the Burnses, and when that shot went in, they were like, "That's his first one." So like,
I guess he
Mama
didn't, man.
Burns and Burns Senior said that was his first one. So I think if
Yeah.
anyone, they would know.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to our next perfect 3 of the week. I mean,
So
Good,
there.
good segue. Good segue.
yeah, perfect
Aw,
segue.
Look at the little baby. He's so cute.
He's
Yeah,
not
look-
cute.
He's not, man. It's
look, for those listening, got baby Baycott being held by big man Burns, by Daddy Burns, and you know, obviously a lot of UNC fans are immediately to say, well, Baycott has a winning record against Burns and against NC State, blah blah blah, and it's like
Matchup wise, though.
matchup wise, dude, Burns.
Not in a
Just
conference
rolling
championship.
Baycott did not want any part of Burns on the defensive side. Of the ball.
Nothing.
He did not.
Nothing.
He said, I've heard people say, I didn't notice it. I'll have to go watch it back. He said sometimes there'd be times where Baycott would be like signaling to other players, like, come on, help me
Yeah.
out here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, totally. 100%.
He didn't want any piece of that part of that. He didn't want any of it.
No,
I think
absolutely.
here's the other thing we really haven't talked about. Like in like the first half, like we were getting no foul calls in favor of
Nothing.
us. Like nothing. When they came out, and I think they blew the whistle within like the first 45 seconds of the second half against Carolina. And then I think maybe another minute or so after, I was like, holy crap, they just got 2 quick fouls. Maybe this game will be officiated fairly, because I thought there were multiple times, like when DR got hit in the head, when I mean, there's
Horn's
so
third foul.
Horns,
Ingram
oh my gosh,
pushed him in the
Foul,
shin.
awful.
There was one
Yeah.
where RJ Davis was driving to the basket. It's a clip where literally nobody touches him.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was a foul on Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does that head fake. And I think it was it Cormac Ryan or Cadeau? I also saw doing it. And I was like, they're just learning from the master. It's RJ
Oh
Davis.
yeah.
yeah. When I saw we had Burt Smith, I'm like, crap, that guy is like the
Well,
worst.
honestly, I thought the coach, the officiating was when you in the whole game, you look at the whole
Yeah.
picture. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty balanced, honestly.
I agree. Oh.
Making guy
Oh,
kicked.
the ACC cut him off.
Well,
That's
I
right.
think he just dropped the mic and said it was pretty efficient. Then he rolled out. No,
That's right.
again, I thought it did balance out. There was some crucial moments though where I thought they missed some calls where we
Yeah.
could have really taken a step. Like I thought at the end of the game, Breon Pass was forced out. Now he has to be a little bit stronger there, but
Yeah.
I mean there was definitely
Agree.
a push there. Michael O'Connell got one where I was like, I don't think that was one. I can't tell you
Yeah.
how many times DJ Burns should have had fouls called in his favor
That's been
with
awesome.
Baycock. And they still haven't figured out how to officiate against, how strong a player Burns is.
Burns is. Amen.
Yeah. So again, again to Mike to Macon's point, I thought it evened out, but at times I just thought it could have been done a little bit better. So, but hey,
Totally.
you beat them. That's all that matters.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, I mean, just to say the refs let the players play the whole tournament. Yeah, but evenly. I guess UNC.
They
not
let
the
them.
first half.
They definitely let them bang against Virginia. Like I thought that was a pretty
Yeah.
physical game.
Agreed.
And then Carolina, like I said, at times there was, and I'm really surprised, like really happy. I think it was it the Virginia game? Virginia Keats almost got teed up, and I thought, gosh dang it, I can't remember his name. The guy that's got the slick hair.
Roger Ayers.
Roger Ayers. Thank you. Yeah, I thought Roger Ayers did a nice job of calming the moment down, because that was a big spot where if we got teed up, we probably were going to lose that game for sure. Because
Honestly, Roger Ayers.
Yeah, looking at how it ended.
I think he's pretty good ref. He's from the Virginia area.
Yeah, well, he was definitely the best ref of those three.
Yeah,
there was one dude that just swallowed his whistle the whole game, and I thought Roger Ayers had to make a lot of calls when he wasn't in the best position, but someone had to step up and make the calls. So,
we didn't see any Teddy Valentine this ACC tournament, did we?
Yeah, we didn't get Teddy.
God bless America.
But I think Teddy, he's as for all the shenanigans, he's good. He usually grades out pretty well. Well, one I was thankful for, because I thought we were going to get Jamie Lucky in the finals.
Yep.
He ended up being the replay guy, and so thank God we didn't get Jamie Lucky. And by the way, he's retiring, so thank God we'll never probably. Well, I don't say never. He might do the NCAA tournament, but we might be officially done with Jamie Lucky.
God bless.
Yeah. So yeah, no, good stuff. On our next tweet of the week, days since last ACC championship, UNC 2,927, NC State as of yesterday, 1 day.
Yesterday, yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Like, and of course I say this, and we talked about this after the live stream or after the championship on Saturday. Like, if you're an NC State fan, like, play devil's advocate. Like, the only thing UNC fans are going to say at me right now is stuff of yesteryears. Like that's the only thing they're going to say. And I'm going to easily say, bro, we dominated you in football. And at the end of the day, when the championship was on the line, we came out. Y'all did. Simple as that.
Let's go talk. I don't know if you ever just want to talk to know what it feels like to win an AC championship, just let me know. It's just like it's been a while for you. It's been a while for you guys. I don't mind just sharing my experience.
Yeah. Shout out, and again, shout out to Gary Hahn, man. Obviously, appreciate you bringing that in. But yeah, I love Gary Hahn, man. That dude's a legend. So now our next tweet of the week here, man, this one sent some fireworks, man.
I love that.
Joe Lenardi coming in here.
Did anybody see Tom's comment?
Yeah, here. Hold on one second. Let me give the background for those listening in. So for those listening in, Debbie Al put a tweet saying, hiring a coach who could win the AC was the goal. Thank you, Coach Keith and staff and a team for staying focused on the prize. You preserved the 4 years of the quote-unquote inherited NCAA issue through non-selection when we were number 33 in the net, talking about 2019 or 2020. Proud of you. And Joe Lenardi, of course, not missing opportunity to piss State fans off. Quote tweet says, "Congrats, Pack. But let's not let the facts get in the way of a good story. The 2019 team / 2020 had the worst non-conference schedule in America, 353. It was never getting a bubble bid. Oh my God, that's not fireworks, man." Talking about Debbie Al came back and rebutted, saying, "Well, the non-conference schedule once again is included as a part of the net."
No, Debbie came with receipts.
Mm-hmm.
She had pictures. She had screenshots.
The craziest part about his response here, she doesn't tag him in this. She doesn't mention Lenardi. She doesn't mention bracketology. He's just like, how did he find this tweet?
He's the true Mr. Irrelevant. Like, he is a dying breed, I feel like, right now. Like, nobody really.
He's Mel Kiper of bracketology.
He tries so hard to be relevant.
Yeah. Does anybody really care about what he has
disappears
to say?
every year until this time.
And he's not even his brackets aren't even good. They measure it.
Like, I just don't really care.
He's in the bottom. He's in the bottom third of bracketologists.
Please tell me you put WOLFPACK Toms as a tweet of the week. His comment back.
I figured by the language used that was probably not the best idea, but I mean, basically Tom Lavolsi basically said what all of us wanted to say.
He gave him a DJ Horn to the ref.
Right.
Yes, he did. I love it. Yeah, no, and actually Tracy asked that, who was the ref that DJ Horn flipped off in the Wake Forest game? I don't know, but either way.
I can go back and figure it out.
Yeah. In game says if Joe Lombardi was a cop, he'd pull over people in a Prius. That's hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty good. Next tweet of the week here. Gotta give a shout out to our guy Alex Nunnally, man. 2021,
Alex.
2001 to 2024 glow up. I would say you could say I've waited a long
That's a
lifetime
sick
for
hat
this.
for a kid too, though, man. That's a sweet hat.
Yeah, that's
That is
like
a cool
it's got the Tuffy head logo.
I hope when I have
That
kids,
hat.
my child looks that cool. To be honest with you, that's awesome.
I agree.
Yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
cute.
That was ahead of its time. That hat.
I love Alex. We're friends with his dad, John, and he sent me a picture where the two of them were embracing, and they're both lifelong NC State fans. So to
Fine.
see a local kid, much like DJ Horn, you know, these guys that are local, they know the history, right, and what it means to become a champion, and so that's just a freaking cool ass moment. Pardon my language.
He's growing up. He's growing up with a dream like that, and he's the one who got the ring, right? So he's got the ring now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
100%.
really cool.
Yeah.
100%.
Shout out. He just got engaged. So his fiance got a ring a couple of weeks ago. Now he got a matching ring. So
Hey,
congrats to them both.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
That needs to be the ring. He's engaged, not married yet. So when they have the ceremony, that's the ring that she needs to slip on.
I love it.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
then
even maybe even get the Tuffy mascot to like be the ring bearer. Like
There you
I think
go.
we're already planning their wedding for him. They probably don't want us to, but I think we can definitely plan it for him. Get an all NC State wedding.
Oh, totally. Next tweet of the week here, Clark's is saying, it's been so long since NC State basketball won a championship. The students don't even know how to properly shut down Hillsborough Street.
Dang roundabouts.
Well,
The roundabout.
so
God.
I wanted to ask. So I was making that sent this tweet, but I guess Kens, maybe you might know a little bit, but yeah. So how did they not properly shut down? Like, are you saying they didn't because it's not Franklin Street where it's not an intersection, so it's not easy.
No, it's a roundabout. Usually, like when we rushed the bell tower against Duke my sophomore year, it was like cops just pulled up to like right past the bell tower in a loft and parked there. So no one could come through. With a roundabout, you couldn't have cops at every single exit because some people had to go to downtown. Some people had to go like the other way. So it was like we were kind of just hoping that no one would run over anybody at that point. So
True.
It's stupid.
Yeah, true. Preacher Man actually brought up a thing about that hat saying State baseball needs a hat like that, like with the old school Tuffy hat. I think is more what he's saying. But
Hey, real quick, it was Jeffrey Anderson, Tracy.
Okay, the ref that EJ Horn flicked off. Yeah. So Tucker with the blanket with tweet. I'm going to be fascinated how the personality of NC State athletics evolves from tonight. For my entire lifetime, everything has been through the lens of quote unquote, but it's not a revenue title. Though I'd argue about women's basketball. Does an undefined weight now lift off from the other programs?
That was interesting. Like, does this reverberate through the athletics department? Like, they did it. Like,
well, I think it goes back to what Scott said. The fans are more important than ever, right? Like, it's going to take NIL. It's going to take commitments to the WOLFPACK club. That, like, it is truly on us fans to continue to change that narrative.
Yeah, no, and I mean, and Lindsay, I mean, you know, I think that kind of looking at it, you know, I think it's just kind of, I think it kind of more just brings back that portion of the NC State of WOLFPACK Nation that kind of has just kind of been sitting on the sidelines. Like now they're back in, and I think that now they're back in as bringing in their NC State fanhood. I think it's going to be easy to also pluck them in and remind them, hey, look at softball. They've won 13 games start season. They just beat, you know, a top 20 ranked South Carolina team. That's going to be a pretty big win once season's all said and done. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this reverberates not only just from a weight off the shoulders, but from a support system that kind of trickles down throughout all the other sports as well.
I agree, and also just in basketball attendance as well. I think, you know, we talked about with recruiting, people don't want to go to a school if they feel like when the team starts to do bad, there's nobody in the stands or anything. But to think that your team did win the ACC championship, I think we're going to see butts back in seats at PNC. which will be refreshing as well. And also see that, like you said, reverberate through the other sports, because we are always preaching, our gymnastics team is ranked, men's and women's. Tennis are ranked. Softball's doing really good. Wrestling just won their 6th ACC title.
Swimming and diving.
Yeah, and counting. But I think you're right. A lot of state fans have been kind of on the sidelines, frustrated by a lack of basketball success, a lack of ACC titles, kind of, in any of the what they consider the more major sports. So I think this will kind of, again, call people to action, to remember why they were a Wolfpack fan to begin with, and to show their support in these sports that we're always kind of discussing and telling people to support.
Now, Northwoods bringing in this comment saying NC State already had the best athletic department in the ACC with the most ACC titles in all sports over the last 4 years. So if this elevates it even more, scary for the rest of the ACC. And, I mean, bring it up. I mean, again, like look at the amount of ACC championships already this year. You got swimming and diving. You got wrestling. You got gymnastics. Now you got men's basketball. Gymnastics going for another ACC title, which they're going to be the favorites for this weekend. Wrestling's going for a team trophy, finishing top 3 in nationals, which I think is definitely within the possibilities. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out our Adam Hall preview, part 1 came out today, part 2 is coming out tomorrow. Go and check those out. It was a huge fun for sure. But I mean, and again, you're looking at football this upcoming, in 2020, like 2024. Like we said it at the end of last year, we said it on this live show, like the 2024 could be one of the most successful years in NC State athletics history. And so far, I think it's exceeded expectations, even for what we thought 2024 could be already. Like we're way past plan at this point. We're way past the agenda. So.
I think what you remember here is that I'm kind of take the perspective on this real quick. What I don't want to happen is what Georgia Tech did, right? And I don't think Boo Corrigan would do this, but like Georgia Tech won ACC title, right? Didn't go so well for the next few years afterwards. So they're going to have to I'm just wanting, all you can do is as a fan is continue to invest, but like one of the most direct way you can help is to invest financially in the programs, right? Because they get better players, but you don't want it to be a one-hit wonder, right? And it wasn't a great regular season. So just you got to hope Keats as a coach and the coaching staff build on this. Yes. I think assistants
you can't rest on your laurels.
Right. The assistants, I think, are just as important as much as the head coaches too. So I mean, maybe not as much, but they are important. So
because they're the guys out there getting you recruits. I mean, they're
Justice, Richardson, and Watkins. So
agreed. Next tweet of the week here from Luke Deacock saying the tournament run of a lifetime, a 37-year lifetime. NC State wins 5 games in 5 days, vanquishing both UNC 84-76 and Duke for the first AC title since 1987. Turns out the AC does stock red confetti. The Wolfpack is no longer living in the past. The legend
that guy's still an ass. I don't care.
Well, and so I wanted to bring it up. Like, obviously, I put out a tweet saying, okay, like, now we can finally say, the cardiac pack is not just talking about 83, like it's 2024. And yes, like 83 will always live in infamy. It will always be talked about. It's huge. But like, Ryan Williams, who we had on the show, said it best. Like the 83 championship is the best and one of the worst things to ever happen at NC State, because it's great because it's an all-time moment, but it's bad because every single year it's going to be, well, NC State could do it. Why? Because 1983. And so it's just like always like we get it. So now you bring up 83, but I think now you bring up even more 2024. You know, like it's I could easily I think it's honestly
it's not a thing where you're living in the past anymore. You're not living in the past anymore.
Well, and it's not like we were the number 1 seed and we won 3 games and we won the AC championship. Like we were right there in terms of the how tough the road was for both teams.
It's the toughest. It's the toughest possible road unless you're a lower seed than us, right? And you don't have chaos. I mean, you literally beat the 3, the 2, and the 1.
Yeah.
Over 3 days.
Right? Back to back to back.
And again, like I said earlier, those were essentially home games for each of those teams.
Right.
Like we were outnumbered at a minimum of 2-1.
Well, and again, keep in mind, and I want to remind everybody about this. Louisville, you didn't have DJ Horn. They were also playing for the coach's job as well. So they were playing with the chip on shoulder trying to get the
And
job.
Diarra couldn't drink or eat anything during that game.
Right. And then Syracuse, they beat you twice that season. And Syracuse coming off fresh legs. Duke coming off fresh legs and were, coming pissed off after losing to UNC at home. Virginia, who was trying to play for an NCAA tournament. And then UNC, who obviously was trying to, win an AC title. So every single game, tough stretch, man. It doesn't get any tougher. I feel like if you tried to find what is the roughest road that N-State could possibly go through, that's what they just went through. I don't know if it really gets much tougher, possibly, than what they just did. So
again, the only way it gets tougher is if the 12 seed were to have done it, right?
Right.
Like it has to be a lower seed person, and there'd be no chaos. That's the only way it gets tougher.
I think Boston College won't even be talked about. They won't even be mentioned. But I mean, they really had an impressive ACC tournament run, man. I mean, but they won't even be talked about because NC State was that much more impressive.
And the way that what was the guy's name from Virginia? Minor. He handled Post. Like Post was having a good game, and then when they put Minor on him, shut Post down. But he had nothing for DJ. Nothing. Yeah. So
nothing at all. So we also talked about this after this championship as well. But does Coach Keats finally enter, the top 5 NC State head coaches in men's basketball history conversation? And the fact that Tim Peeler himself, the NC State historian, I mean, if there's a guy to have an opinion, if he says it, it's gold. His opinions are gold. And the fact that Tim Peeler says in this tweet, every case, Press Maravich, Norm Salone, Jim Valvano, and Coach Keats are now add Coach Keats to the list now. I think that's crazy that Tim Peeler said is basically.
I wonder how you compare a 2 Sweet 16s to Mark Gottfried to what he did to Coach Keats. He did this 1 week. It was a one good week, and I think that was really good. But to me, it's what it meant. It's what it meant, and that's where I think the weight of it comes from. It's 2 Sweet 16s were also. Remember, you guys remember that first Sweet 16? That was huge for NC State.
Alex Johnson, Scott Wood,
the Scott Wood team.
Yeah, that was 20 to 12. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that was San Diego State and
Creighton.
All I remember is they played Kansas in the Sweet 16.
St. Louis. No, that was another one we lost. That was a different year.
Yeah, that was TJ Warren's year. I can't remember. But yeah, that was huge. And I don't know. I think it's interesting he's not mentioning Mark there. But it's debatable. It's in the conversation for sure.
Well, and the only thing I would say again against Gottfried is, first of all, he didn't inherit NCAA infractions that Godfrey brought, so thank you. But also too, Godfrey got handed a really talented team. He got handed a really talented team with Scott Wood, with Lorenzo Brown, with Richard Howell, with CJ Leslie. So that's that. Keats did way more with way less than what Godfrey had. And that's just fact, Not that's not hating on DJ Horn. That's just factual, man. Like Lorenzo Brown's one of the greatest point guards to ever play NC State. CJ Leslie's one of the most talented players to ever play NC State. Richard Howell's one of the greatest centers to ever play NC State. The list goes on. So now I know that DJ Burns has a case to be said, and I get it, but I'm just saying. But anyway, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I got to meet Tim Peeler in person, and I thought, wow, I'm here with Tim Peeler, who is the greatest NC State historian, and to have a championship, and he got to be there, and I got to meet him for the first time. This whole thing, man, I keep saying it. It was destiny. And this point right here, oops, sorry, wrong one. It moved.
Well, that one too.
Yeah, that one too. But it was the one I lost it. Maybe someone can pull it up. The comparisons of 87 and 2014. I think it was you, Michael, that said that this was wild. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean the whole similarities. I mean, it was eerie. It was super eerie.
UNC.
Yeah. It was again. I kept pointing to all these little things, and then Saturday, right before we were headed out, we picked right by our car was a penny with the heads up, and it said 1980, but I was like, damn, if that thing had said 83, I was gonna lose my stuff.
Or 87.
yeah, or 87. Good point. Yeah. So, but again, like I said, when that shot went in on Friday night, I said, we're not losing this tournament. It's over. It's a wrap. Just go ahead and put the engravement on there. It said NC
I think
State.
he also said, "You're done. You're done." I think it's what
Right?
he said.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
Carolina was coming at me hard. Carolina fans were coming at me hard for that video.
Actually, I think the way you said it goes, "We're done. You're done."
Yeah, that's fair. It sounded like a 12-year-old boy hitting puberty.
Exactly.
Yeah, my voice was shot by Wednesday.
Dude, you
and
put your heart and soul into it, man. That's
man,
good.
I know, man. I
And your
appreciate
lungs,
that.
and your vocal cords.
Man,
And your
Yeah.
body.
yeah. I mean, I had Scooter Sherrill come up to me after the game on Saturday, and I didn't recognize him. And he just like, look, I just wanted to shake your hand for all the energy you brought. My kids want to meet you because you're just crazy. I was like, I'm happy
are
to meet
crazy.
them. Yeah.
We
So-
know. Yeah.
So again, look, I got to hold the MVP trophy. Man, this whole week was awesome. I'm just telling
Yeah.
you, man. I slept. I literally have not taken this shirt off in 2 days, so it probably stinks.
I
but
wore the same thing for
I don't
5
care.
days last week until we won the
Yeah.
championship.
Yeah. So go ahead, Michael.
I was gonna say I didn't wear the same thing because I changed from Tuesday to Wednesday. I was like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. But I sat in the same spot on my couch all 5 games. I'll say that was my part.
So the whole
Good to
week I
know.
had a different shirt on. I had different shirts on. I had an Alex Nunley NIL shirt on for one of the games. I had different shirts, but I reverted back to the same shirt that I had on the first day. Just kind of say, all right, this is the shirt that started it, and this is the shirt that's going to
There you
end
go.
it. So,
Mhm.
but man, we went to the
Hey,
same.
what's
We went to the same bar every day to have a drink before the game. Like, I mean, I
You
took
don't
my
mess with the fun
selfie.
play, man.
No,
You-
man, that's for real. Like, I took a selfie on the metro.
I made mom go walk at the park no matter how late it was. So she was by herself in the
Yeah.
park at like 10:30.
Everybody did their part. I think I saw it. Keith said him and KJ like had the same lunch every day.
I love it.
That's funny.
You got to do what you got to do.
So,
anything,
you know,
anything to take away 37 years of misery.
Yeah.
So gotta love this point about DJ Horn from Rob McBland, just reminding everybody, being that, Horn, is from the city of Raleigh, and to come back from Arizona State and win a title, like, that is it's a perfect story for a movie, man. Like and so got to give a huge shout out to Horn, man, for buying in on that, seeing his emotion after the game, seeing the tears coming to his face, and him saying, like, I came back to Raleigh to bring a title, like, a little bit of LeBron James vibes. Not saying he's LeBron James, but,
Raleigh, this is
Yo.
from you.
oh, dude, I've been sick.
His dad was on fire all week, man. He's such a nice guy. And he's like, that's why we came back. This is why we came back. I mean, he just embraced that whole this is why we came back home moment for DJ to, have it in their city. And then, I mean, that's all. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
the whole
so
team was a
cool.
legendary team.
I know.
Now, right? So
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, KC to do everything on his home court.
Right.
UVA to get there, his old team to get there, right?
True.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So, we got Reddit college football saying UNC has looked exceptional all season. It might still be a 1 seed, but they're simply not used to taking finals.
That was too funny. Sorry.
I
That was
love it.
amazing. That's amazing.
I love it.
Love it.
I mean, that from a media level, that's great. And then Josh Goodson, which again, got to give a shout to my man Josh, man. I've been waiting my whole life for a quote unquote you got to buy a t-shirt
Was he in
moment.
the comments earlier? I think he was.
Yeah, he was at the beginning of the show.
He was. I mean, got to give a shout out to Josh, man. That dude has gone through.
He fought the good fight this year.
He fought a
Oh,
huge
man.
fight, man.
He
And-
was
and
the
most-
he was the ultimate martyr of NC State basketball. Like,
Oh, he was. Oh, he was. Yeah. No, it's. I mean,
He's right.
Dude, if I'm Josh Goodson, I'm literally just. I probably would have gone live on Twitter, me just drinking a bourbon, just sitting there quietly, and just sitting there and just letting everybody watch me. Just sitting here drinking my bourbon. Hey,
Oh,
how y'all
man.
doing? Y'all doing good? Y'all doing good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah,
can't
just
remember our
checking in.
boy. We can't forget our guy Vinny.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. The toilet
Vinny.
seat. The
Vinny.
toilet seat. Yeah, no, Vinny, you're the man, bro.
Vinny and the pack.
Amen. Vinny and the pack. I love it. And Jason saying Mitch's Tavern was standing room only on Saturday night, completely packed.
Yeah.
30 minutes before tip off. The bar was going nuts all game
That'd
long.
have been
I
cool.
love it.
I
That'd have
believe
been
it.
No, seeing all the videos from Barstool Pack and all of those like fan pages, it was just electric the
I
entire
would love to have a montage of all of the clips of people the moment they won the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would
No.
be a really cool video. Just an idea, just to put it all.
I was going to say,
super emotional.
that part. We're going to do it.
I wanted to do a moment with me, but I was too much filming for us as the channel, so we got that moment. So I didn't need to have my moment. I didn't even hug my own wife. Like, I was so wrapped up in it, and she's over there cheering. I was like, after the fact, I was like, I never got a picture with my wife there. We never hugged. I was like so in the moment for me, and I kind of felt bad. I apologized to her, but I mean, I would do it again. I would do it again.
You guys from the Virginia game where your wife's just praying with her eyes closed.
Greg,
so funny.
That's a good prank, right?
Yeah, she wasn't even praying. To be truthful, she wasn't even praying. They just caught her clapping, but it looked like she was praying. But whatever it takes.
So for those watching or for those listening, let's go. If you all can go ahead and help me get ahead of it, I tomorrow I want to put out a tweet and I want to ask for fans to send in videos of reactions from either the Virginia Michael O'Connell shot and or reaction to winning the title, and I want to create a compilation with my video and put it out on Twitter. So if you're listening or watching this, please, if you can, either DM us the videos or send it to Tuffy Talk email address, tuffytalk1617@gmail.com, and I would love to put together a compilation. So that'd be awesome. Yeah. So our last tweet of the week, which I think is the perfect one to end it on here. Duke men's basketball legacy, which keep in mind is not a big Duke page, but to see a Duke page say, all right, fans. Okay, so and here's the tweet. Okay, UNC fans, sit over here with us in UVA and shut up. This is State's moment. Been a long time. Period.
Yeah.
It wasn't even. I like this tweet because it wasn't one. It was like thank you, but it was like, it wasn't a thing of I'm admitting I wanted them to win this. It's just
right.
We lost. Yeah. And this is their moment, and that was pretty nuts that just did. So just shut up, okay?
Yeah.
Be a fair, a good loser, I guess. So
get off your high horse.
Yeah, respect. Get on your high horse, right?
Yeah, if you just enjoy sports, right? Think of when the Cubs finally won after 107 years, 108 years, whatever it was. The Red Sox after 80 some years. If you're a sports fan, just enjoy the freaking moment, man. Don't be an asshat.
Get out. Set aside your pretentiousness.
That needs to be a shirt. Why not us? And on the back say, "Don't be an asshat."
New Tuffy Talk merch.
Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not going out of my way if this, and I'll be truth in lending. I wouldn't go out of my way to congratulate Carolina. But I'm not going to talk crap about them. That.
You had me in the first half.
It's not my style, but I'm just saying.
You had me in the first half.
No, that's fair. I mean, look, I get it, but again, for people to say it's not a rivalry, why are you even talking? Then it is a rivalry. If you're so inclined to make a message or a tweet or come at somebody, it does mean something to you. You cannot deny it.
Because I'm sorry, if you
just beat them.
Right? If you say if they would have won, there's no way they were coming out and saying, "Oh, we don't even care about the ACC championship anyway. We're more focused on the NCAA."
They're telling on themselves.
That is not. If y'all would have won, y'all would have been shoving it in our face like you do every freaking.
Hey, props.
You really think those guys would have been the guys would have been you really think the UNC fans would have been just quiet and be like, yeah, whatever. They would have. No way would they have ever done that.
Props to Tar Heels for life. We appreciate you being real.
But Tar Heels for life, we will win an ACC championship in football. So
yeah, I mean it's
I'm
possible.
talking about the UNC fans that are
chill out,
kind of pretentious. And I don't get this guy here is he's been a fair UNC fan in my mind. So
yeah. It's okay. You can talk a little smack. It's fine, but just give credit where credit's due. Sometimes
it's a rivalry, right? It's fun,
but it's not a rivalry. That's the thing.
There's a couple of Carolina fans out there.
Rivalry.
As a joke.
As Tar Heels for life probably knows, there's definitely fans in his fan base, his or her fan base. Excuse me. I don't want to assume that are just complete asshats, no matter what the situation is. And look, be real. We got them too. I mean, we
Oh, yeah.
definitely have them.
B-Rad.
But again,
Oh yeah,
it just to me, like, I have people coming at
I'm
me
one of-
from Carolina's fan base,
right.
like talking about my weight. You really think I give a crap about my weight? But believe me,
Bro.
actually, you know what? It's after 10 o'clock. You think I give a shit about my weight? Like, if it really
Oh
meant
no,
something?
that's like
That's the lowest hanging fruit, and that's all you got. That's all this dude comes at me with
Right?
is my weight.
Yeah.
Like,
that's like the
get the hell out of
screenshot.
here.
That's like the screenshot that I have on my Twitter. It's like State fans, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm an asshole sometimes, but I'm not gonna sit here and make fun of someone for having a dead relative.
I mean-
like coming at me for my dad or coming at me for my weight or something like that. I'm like, let it, like,
This took a weird turn.
like
No,
that's
this
just
did.
Yeah.
so frustrating.
No, I just want to call people out because it's stupid. Like,
Yeah.
bro,
Really grinds my gears.
it does.
It's so annoying. Or you come out and say who you are. Like put your actual
Right,
face in your
right. Don't
profile.
hide behind a South Park emoji or some stupid ass avatar.
Like we can meet in Raleigh or Chapel Hill. Let me know the Addy. I will pull up.
I'll
Oh
roll.
my
I'll
god.
roll.
I don't know what we're doing on Twitter.
Anyway,
Oh,
I'm
man.
sorry.
Say that.
Y'all are hilarious. Love you guys.
Jesus.
And Lindsay's sitting here like, hey, y'all doing
But
good?
again, Lindsay,
Y'all all right?
but
No, I
again,
kind of want to see Ken's get in a fight with somebody. I'm entertained by this.
But again,
It's not gonna
Lindsay,
be like I don't want to get in a fight with somebody, but I want to.
You'll hold the camera. You'll hold the camera.
yeah,
Lindsay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll hold the camera.
And she'll post it to what is that hip hop star or whatever that site is where the fights get
World
posted.
Star.
World
Yeah,
Star, there you go.
Star.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh.
See,
My
I'm
mom
old.
said no.
Oh,
Anyway,
Oh,
I'm off my soapbox and grind gears. Just people
That's
treat
right.
the way you want to be treated in life, man. Like that's all I'm saying.
Amen. Amen. Trey saying, I like this salty, Tuffy talk. Yeah, no.
Get us to
Salty is
10,000.
very
I'll
salty.
drunk late
Get
night.
us to 10,000 and we'll do more of this.
That's right.
Tuffy
Get us to
talk.
All right.
10,000 and I'll fight somebody.
No.
Oh, man,
All right, Wolfpack Nation. I think now after 2 hours of talking men's basketball, man, I think, this was great. First of all, thank you to all of the people who tuned in, man. This has been definitely the most fun and just like I said, the greatest Tuffy Talk live show we've ever had, man. This was awesome between having Scott Wood on and seeing salty Tuffy Talk and really what really grinds my gears. Like it doesn't get any better than this, man. So
I
with that being
apologize for my language. I'm not usually like
All-
that, but it's just
all good, man. Hey, listen, it's all good.
I want a shirt that says that on it.
That's right. But for us, Wolfpack Nation, a couple of things. Make sure, again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to do so. Again, just like Ken said, we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, y'all. And make sure to hit that notification bell. Even you, even you, Tar Heel for life. Hey, that just because you're Tar Heel doesn't mean you can't
you can
subscribe.
hate watch. I hate watch Carolina
Well-
stuff. So
Exactly. No, absolutely. And if you enjoyed this conversation, man, make sure to hit that like button. We really appreciate that. Make sure you hit that notification bell if you didn't hear me say that already. And then make sure you give us a follow, Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, y'all. And make sure to stay tuned as we made the announcement that our NC State softball fundraiser got extended until the end of April, so April 30th. So make sure to go and donate to enter to win one of our 10 amazing prizes, y'all. So again, a great opportunity to help support a huge sport that's growing rapidly just under year one of Coach Leftwich. And again, get involved, y'all, between basketball, between football. So much great things going on with NC State right now. So make sure to go and support and help us continue this momentum that we are seeing across all NC State athletics right now. If you love being able to look a UNC fan in the face and say, hey, men's basketball, we got you. Football, we got you.
we got this one.
Every sport,
Yeah.
wrestling, we got you. Gymnastics, we got you. Get involved, y'all. All sports, please get involved. We appreciate you. But thank you all so much again for tuning in. We love you guys. Y'all are amazing. Let's enjoy this one. And by the way, real quick, we'll have either a live stream either tomorrow or Wednesday night to preview men's basketball and women's basketball. So stay tuned for that. And then we will also have our watch party for Thursday
Do we
night for our
wanna
game against
do-
Texas Tech.
Do we want to do a
Okay.
watch party? Because aren't we like 0-4 in watch parties?
She's
Yeah,
not
watch
wrong.
parties don't
She's
usually
not
go
wrong.
away.
Let's
That's-
And
wait.
I don't
till
want
next
to blame
year.
y'all if we lose.
We can't screw the mojo up. She's right. She's right.
That's true.
Let's
That's
go
true.
Instagram live. Maybe
All
that'll
right.
Notre
All
Dame. We won Notre Dame.
Or we'll
Everyone
like
knows it.
post game it.
It
We'll
did be
do like a
Notre Dame.
live post.
Yeah, but that took a miracle, Michael.
That's true.
I like that.
Well, we just gotta get the toilet seat back on. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all we need.
So maybe we'll do a post game. Yeah, maybe we'll do like
Yeah.
just like a quick 30-minute post game.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we'll do
Or
that.
just or jump on at halftime. Be like, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah, maybe. All right, y'all. With that being said, thank y'all so much. We love you guys. Y'all are the best, and go Pack, y'all.